Yeah.
And we're here. We're here.
Ah.
We're a few minutes late, but
Hello.
it's the standard as usual.
Time for being late.
Yeah. So I had to come up with the name and had to do a little bit of finagling here, so the text is kind of crap up on the screen, but that's fine. That's fine.
We're all good.
We're all good.
Yeah.
We're all good. I'm your host, Pilot Flame 226, as usual. And with me, I have Thrifty Shark, my I want to say official co-host.
The same nerd.
The same nerd.
That
Same
sounds
nerd.
right, mate.
Yeah. And then we have a returning guest, Zendrick or Shut In Gaming, whichever one you would like to refer to him as.
Or Dendrick, fucking whatever. I am
Dendrick
called
Blackfrost. Oh no,
Dendrick
Blackfrost. Yeah, Dendrick Blackfrost. Yes, that is the
Yeah.
exact opposite of your name.
Yes.
Apparently, the X is an opposite of a D, but that's like a
100%.
a pun.
Is X gonna give it to you, or are you gonna get the D?
You're gonna get the.
That's
D,
true.
exactly.
Fair play. Fair play.
Not like this.
So yeah, Shadowbringers has been out for over a couple weeks now, at least from early access anyway. I think it's actually would have been 2.
It's past 2 weeks for sure.
It's past. It's just gone
It's
past
definitely
2
2
weeks. It's like
It's
2 weeks and a
almost
bit.
3.
We're almost
It's
at 3.
Yeah, it's almost at 3. Yeah.
Yeah, almost at 3. Well, actually, technically, be almost at 4, depending on if you count it from early access.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
from
So-
official launch.
Official
it's
launch, yeah.
second Or whatever, right?
I'm gonna say it's official launch.
Yeah, but most people were obviously playing the.
Official delayed launch.
Most people were playing the game during early
Yes.
access. So yeah, so let's actually start there. So early access hits, everyone's going scrambling. We did the podcast and as we were logging in and whatnot, we were finishing up, and everyone logged in. Obviously the login queues is normal, but for around, I want to say a good 10 hours, it was great.
I wish I knew.
Nothing happened, really. It was smooth gameplay. Everyone was enjoying themselves. And then there was a little DDoS period for around 45 minutes, and then it smoothed out, and then it was back to normal again.
The queues were still shit.
Yeah, the queues, obviously, if you ever got, you were AFK or you logged out or whatever, then...
It's fine. Just go into the cutscene.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
You just go into a cutscene, and you'll be fine. So for me personally, I never actually got booted off the server. I just lagged around a lot, and I was lagging around in the Katana Revel, like Indiana Jones type instance.
Right,
I've never been killed by boulders so much in my life. I had to do that instance 5 times in total. 2 times because I aggroed the... one time because I aggroed the stone dudes, and they just beat me down, and because I was DCing.
You just couldn't move.
Yeah. One other time was because I died to the poison on the maze because I was lagging on the maze and didn't know how to get out of it.
Couldn't move. Yep.
And then the last 2 times was I was trying to run and I didn't know you had to jump off the edge, so I stuttered and then I lagged and then the boulder just ran over me and killed me. Basically.
Oh, yeah.
So, but apart from that, it was pretty good. I got to 79 on the first day. I tried to make it to 80, but I was friggin' spent. I wasted a good bit of time instead of just like spamming dungeons when I should have. But overall, pretty quick. I leveled warrior first, so that was my job of choice. So we'll move on to Thrifty next. How did early access go for you?
Well, I logged in, couldn't see my character on the starting screen.
That was pretty
logged
typical.
back out, changed to a Viera, and then waited for 20 minutes to get into the game. And then I just played for the whole day, so worked out fine.
Yeah. So how far? So you leveled which job
I
first?
leveled Samurai first, the Slamurai,
The Slamurai.
not because I want to play Samurai. It's great. It was the correct choice in my opinion for what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I also wanted to be able to do all the trust dungeons the first time for more bonus story.
And
Samurai is the best pick for that for sure because it just annihilates every dungeon by yourself.
That's true. That or Black Mage, pretty much.
Yeah,
what we're gonna do.
Black Mage you can get like screwed by mechanics. Samurai that doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll
If
talk
you've never
about-
seen a mechanic before, it doesn't matter.
Can we talk about mechanics later? On Black Mage?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're
gonna get to mechanics. We'll get to mechanics, and
Yeah.
everyone knows what we're talking about there. So Thrifty went ahead and is gonna. I believe you're maining samurai for the raid tier,
Yeah.
or strength melee in general. So like monk or samurai, anything like that.
I'm the only melee, so
Yeah.
I'll do whatever. But
Yeah.
samurai seems the
I'm leaning
best
more
option.
towards warrior because of if you ever have to move the boss, holding the boss is gunbreaker, especially if you're on your 1 minute no mercy window versus your 30-second just regular gnashing fang window. You have so many weaves to do, and you can just like screw yourself over. So even though gunbreaker doesn't take very much damage when tanking,
Gunbreaker is just like this is work.
Yeah, you have to put in a lot of work, but it is quite rewarding when you do it right. So I'm probably just gonna go warrior because they're going to buff warrior because I always say that they have 3 balanced teams. They have the regular balance team, which is bad at balancing everything, and then they have the ninja balance team and the warrior balance team, which are very good. They make them broken.
The main balance team, they're not going for balance. They're just going for like feel.
Yeah.
It's like the this is how they do things when they go in the expansions. They always make sure that like the feel of the job is right going in
For the job
or
itself.
for what
yeah.
they want,
Yeah.
and then they can tweak numbers later. Like
That's true.
or they can like tweak like, oh, people think, oh, maybe you add this thing to make it feel even more like this, and then so that's what they're gonna be doing soon.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Major changes.
Yeah, major changes. Yeah, that was apparently the text from JP. So Zendrick, what did you level and how did you rush to 80 or were you a story kind of a guy or how did you go about it?
Well, because my fucking job fucked me, I had to rush to 80.
We did hear about that on the last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, try to rush to 80 to some degree while also listening to the story. So I didn't completely rush it.
Not like super rush.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no.
how many days did you take?
But you didn't do trust.
4?
It was-
did you?
No, I didn't do trust. Fuck that.
Yeah, you did like 4.
I have not even touched the trust system yet. Still. Probably
I'm never touching it again.
I'm all
Is
up.
that bad?
All up. I mean, no, it's not that bad.
I don't want to.
After the people I've seen in these dungeons.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd rather be in a trust dungeon for some of them.
I mean, that's fair.
In some of them, yeah. There are very few exceptions, but for for the 75, 77, and 79 dungeon, like if you're on like a good DPS, like that is decent AoE, I think you can just kill the dungeon yourself.
Yeah.
Or if you're on tank, you can obviously pull whatever you want. It's just when you don't know the tank, that's the problem.
When you don't know the tank, they never big pull.
They never big pull.
Dude,
Never
my
big
God.
pull.
Dude, okay, and
what's it
I
called?
leveled up Summoner first, so that was just fun, not having a big pull.
Yeah.
It was like, come on, man, I have all these things.
Yeah.
Let me use them.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I leveled up Summoner first, then Black Mage.
Yep.
And those are the only 2 casters in the game, so you're done leveling, right?
No,
Red Mage?
from what they just created a new job. It's called Red Mage.
It's called Red Mage. It's
Oh, they
actually,
did. Okay.
Playable.
Yeah. Playable.
It only goes if you ever miss like 1 second of lucid dreaming though.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it only goes zoom if you literally have to raise 4 people.
I heard that if you res even like 1 or 2 people, it's just like super
That's not
detrimental.
true. That's
But
not true.
I've not played it, so
I have
can't.
a level 81 on my ult. It's fun.
Yeah, it's not bad.
If you just press the thing every minute, you'll literally unless you're literally resing 4 people,
Yeah.
You have to if you res 4 people within like 3 minutes, you're
There's an-
gonna be running out. But
There's an issue also with that. It's like, come on, man, why are you all dying?
yeah,
Yeah.
if you're resing that many people, there's another problem, right?
Yeah.
It's that you're gonna wipe.
Yeah.
I will say I hate Summoner having to rely on lucid dreaming now. Kills me inside.
Yeah.
Energy drain. Or
Doesn't do anything, but just
not
damage.
like the Aether Flow.
Yeah.
That's
No
pretty
8th
funny.
flow slash energy drain just does damage and gives you the 2
The
stacks
stacks.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that'll be a major change. Who knows?
maybe.
I was thinking the major change would be
Summer's got way too many
Like-
buttons.
just removing the Aether Flow button on Scholar and just making it something else. But
Yeah.
make that the damage that people want.
Oh yeah.
Just make it you get 1 stack every like
Yeah.
X amount of time. But you'll probably still end up with too much. Like
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So early access overall was pretty solid.
good.
It was really good. Really, I'll be the first person to put my hand up and say, look, I don't trust Square to do anything right, especially with last year, with the last expansion.
Yeah,
And I have to hold myself accountable to say, you know what? You did everything right, basically.
you didn't
Apart from
believe-
job balance, but we'll get onto that later.
Yeah.
I think
I'm gonna-
the framework for job balance is there.
Yeah, the framework is
It's
fine.
just needs
Yeah.
to be tweaked, right? Which
Yeah.
is fine. Like the raids aren't out. It doesn't matter yet.
I mean-
no normal modes are out. Still doesn't matter.
Oh, the
Yeah.
raid.
So, just
Not
before
Black
we
Meat friendly.
just before we move on to from early access, I've played and leveled tanks, healers, and a caster. Zendrix leveled casters and a tank as well, or
Some tanks. Dark Knight and Paladin.
Dark Knight and Paladin. Okay, and Thrifty, you've leveled what?
He's got
I have
everything.
7 80s.
So you've leveled one of each role then.
Yeah.
So you have
I've leveled, like,
you leveled a ranged, a melee.
Casters, a
cast-
range,
Okay. So we at least we have coverage when it comes to all the
yeah,
jobs.
tank.
All right. Okay. So, early access experience, it's going on. We're seeing things for the first time. Now we're going to talk about the content.
Mhm.
We going to talk about the content because obviously you can have a smooth access, but the content could suck. Right? It could be bad.
When you mean content, are we talking about story
Yeah,
or
let's,
actual game?
let's start.
Just anything. It could be story. It could be how a
Dungeon
job plays. Could be anything, right?
Oh, just okay.
So you can go in. So like most machinist players, as an example, they probably logged in. They looked at their hotbar. They're like, all my abilities are
Oh
crossed
my
out.
God.
Yeah, I witnessed. I think it was Kelly logged in because Kelly's mini machinist, and she's like, "Well, I have to redo everything I've ever done because it's just a new job."
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Just spending
That
like,
was-
where do I want this? Where do I want this?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, you could also be Nolan as well, who spent literally the first 3.5 hours setting up all of his hotbars for everything.
There were at least 4 people in our FC doing that on the day
I-
one. They're just
I will-
spending hours like fixing everything up.
Yeah.
I'll admit that probably was the smartest thing to do. Like, I try to just just finagle the buttons into my fucking already made bars.
Well, what I
Should not have
did,
done that. I got used to it.
what I did was I'd like pick one of each like role, or like when there's similar abilities, I picked a spot for it and just never deviated.
That's what
If
I did
had
too.
Another
That's what I
thing-
did too.
If I had another like ability that was similar to that on the job, I'd have to find like I'd have extra slots, like
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
that's what I did too. So like as an
And
example.
then I got to Gunbreaker, and I'm like, where do I put these buttons?
Oh well, you
Dude.
see, Gunbreaker's
I
actually.
figured it out eventually, but
Gunbreaker was actually pretty straightforward for me because it actually set up the way I set up my AoE bars for most of my tanks, except for Warrior, because
Yeah.
Warrior just has like 6 buttons, so you just have all the main GCDs
for
on your
Warrior,
main bar.
I have like the stuff set up the same, but then I also have like in those extra slots that you just have, I just put them there too. I'm
Yeah,
just like, you know,
exactly.
I might as well just have it there as well because I
Yeah.
had it there before. Like, okay,
Yeah, exactly. Or like if you group things together, so like I have Delirium in the same
Yeah.
spot I have in a release as an example.
Mhm.
Or the same
I
spot
have-
I same spot I have No Mercy, or the same spot I
Yeah,
have
I have
Requiescat
Fight or
or Rescue Cat.
I have Fight or Flight there.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
Just like It's the
Yeah,
same.
I gotta fix my paladin bars in general.
Do people do rescue cat first, or do they do the other one? I don't even know.
It depends. If you still have a red, if you have a red
Is it-
mage and a monk, obviously you do the fighter flight. But I think you're
Yeah.
supposed to do Requiescat first.
Yeah,
Because
I don't know.
because you can
I
get
haven't leveled
you
Paladin
get
yet, so I have no idea. Oh, hey, this is the super.
because if tricks on the 5th GCD, then you get 2 Holy Spirits and Confeeder in the inside of it.
Yeah.
So which is what you want.
Yeah.
And it'll line
Yeah.
up that way every time,
Yeah, it would, because
Yeah.
it's a minute.
which
so.
is nice. But the fighter flight opener is just as good, especially if you have a monk and a red mage. But so yeah, I'll start off in terms of the actual content. I thought the actual dungeons themselves, like I even said it in one of my videos, for like Hominster Switch as an example. Like when I went into the dungeon, I'm just like, oh shit! Like this isn't a dungeon. We're outside. We're in the middle of like some forest. It doesn't look like we're contained. Like everything looked like it was attainable where you were. And I felt like that was the case for like pretty much all the dungeons in a sense. Like they were their
there was-
own environment rather than like, hey, look, I'm on a fixed path here.
Yeah.
More or less. Trying to think.
Trying to think
think,
like
like,
what
the-
dungeon I've been like.
I know I liked all of them. It's just like
I thought the 77 dungeon was a bit like meh in terms of
I mean,
the
it's a
bosses.
The
It's a
77
vibe.
dungeon is pretty.
It's meh,
it
but
didn't seem as impactful as a light warden as the other one.
yeah, exactly.
I like the boss mechanics though for that.
Well, the
I mean,
boss
it was
mechanics was
interesting
just
that it was,
recycled
like,
Alexander stuff, right? So
Yeah, but it was like the.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
It was nice for my black mage.
Yeah, it was interesting for if you had to cast. It was pretty interesting if you had to cast. But like I think aesthetically the best looking dungeon was Dawn Meg for sure. Like especially after the first boss when you're running through like you go through the gate and like all the
when everything transforms.
yeah,
Oh,
everything transforms or like those weird colorful flowers come down and stuff. Like that was it was like you're on a fantasy like mini golf
You're just-
course.
You're
Like
just on an acid
it was
trip.
cool. It was
I
really
liked
cool.
Can we say
Actually, just-
spoilers?
Yeah. We're saying-
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the spoiler.
Amarat was pretty good. I like that one as well.
Amaro,
Yes.
yeah, the expert dungeon.
Amaro.
I know what Thrifty's favorite dungeon was. I know
Yeah, we
what
all
Thrifty.
know. We all know what it
There's
is.
two choices. There's actually, dude. I can't.
You like all of
can't
them.
decide.
But
I
it's
actually can't decide.
it's
I
in
feel
your
like I-
name. It's
I
in the first
know.
boss is literally two
No,
sharks.
That is my favorite boss. But
Yes.
I like the other dungeon better.
I
The
mean,
twinning.
you're talking about the twinning.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
love
cool.
the twinning, dude.
Dude, the
That is
music
pretty
just alone, it was like, oh my god. Eargasm right there.
Yeah, it was. It's obviously especially the last boss because you basically fight a pseudo Alexander.
It's Ironworks, Alex.
Yeah,
Mhm.
basically, yeah. But the literally
Dude, all the lore behind that is so. Dude, I was like, wait, and then like there's like a cutscene after you turn the quest in. I'm like, wait,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was interesting.
it just keeps going.
yeah.
Time travel.
It's nuts.
So literally when I was fighting the shark boss, literally the first thing I was told was like, "Mommy shark did it, and then when the other
God
shark
damn
came
it.
up, I'm like, "And Daddy shark did it."
No.
Like that was just going through my head as I was fighting those
Nah,
bosses.
dude.
It was so funny.
Get out of here.
People said that like the whole time, but the real thing is it's just street sharks.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever saw street sharks, but
yeah. I mean,
it's literally street sharks. I mean, I mean, in this game, it's just the opkin or whatever, but
the only thing I don't like
made it into a shark.
about Amaro was that the
Amaranth?
like first set of pools is like kind of broken up a little bit, so you can't like do wall to
Yeah.
wall. Like the academy,
think-
you can do the big pull right off the start.
Except
It's like
whenever
big-
big,
nice,
it's like
so-
big
does it.
into medium for that one, whereas
Yeah.
the other one's like medium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Amarat is like you gotta wait a bit.
Oh yeah, this super fades
Yeah.
up by the way. Hell yeah, not the super,
Which one?
super fade, but the T-Rex and Raktika.
Okay.
I haven't done any of the super fades. But
I
yeah,
just
for
saw it
the
randomly, but yeah.
for the
Jinx
for the
and Shizzy.
dungeons, I think the only complaint that people had was that the 77 dungeon bosses kind of were meh, and that Mount Ghoul, the 79 dungeon, was impossible to see the AoEs because the floor and the AoE was like meshing together because it was like a light yellow versus like a white ground after the second boss.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I was able to see all that stuff.
Want to talk about a big pool?
oh, I did that with Pugs. I did that with Pugs on Paladin, and Paladin takes the most damage after hollowed. And when we're talking about the big pool, we're talking about from the second boss,
the second boss to the
all the way to where you would fight the last big guy. You pull all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I would do that if one of my healers wasn't a fucking troll the entire time.
I know. No, people just like it. Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, every time I'm about to do a flare, I get fucking rescued. I'm
No,
like,
every time you're about to despair, he gives you despair.
yeah, by fucking rescuing me.
You know what my rotation was? My rotation was Requiescat, Clemency,
Yeah.
Confiteor.
Yep.
Spam my AoE a little bit, Clemency myself again. That's what it
Yep.
was while spamming cooldowns. Because if you had, well, the thing is, I did it with a Scholar as well, because a Scholar can also do it. I would never do it with an Astra because I don't trust that.
Yeah, I'd heal you
Yeah.
through it. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I know Astra can do it. I know
It's
Astra
not
can do it.
hard. People just have to.
Well, if you have a tank
people
and a
have to
healer,
know
you
what
can communicate it to whereas it's like, okay, I'm gonna hollow this first 10 seconds,
Well, because remember,
or the
Astro has two charges on Essential by that point.
yeah, exactly. But also, if you say like if the white mage says, "Oh, I'm gonna holy," the second I get there, I'd be like, "Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
won't pop anything initially."
Yeah, obviously.
So,
Mhm.
but so what was the so let's run down the dungeons really quickly. So, Hominster Switch, we're gonna compare it to Dusk Vigil and what was the first dungeon? Siren Song C.
Yep.
What do we think was the best out of those?
Fucking Mr. Switch.
Holminster.
Yeah, I think Hominster was pretty cool. Mind you, coming off the boat slamming into the rock was pretty
Siren
cool.
Song was pretty good.
Yeah, but fucking.
But
Dusk
we all
Vigil?
know how we all feel about Dusk Vigil.
Dusk Vigil was shit.
Dude, there's a reason it wasn't a story dungeon.
Because it was terrible.
Because it was a sleeper dungeon.
It was literally the first boss just knocked you up constantly for around 10 minutes because that's how long it took.
I got into that yesterday, so I know exactly what it does.
It still takes long. It takes
forever,
long.
dude.
Exactly.
Even synced, like 15 minutes feels like 40.
Yeah.
Like it's just bad. It's just really bad.
And then,
I don't know what it
and
maybe
also
it's
just-
the sleepy music.
Yeah, that
even- I
too.
don't know
It's
what
also
it
just
is,
all
dude.
one color, really. It's just all snow.
Yeah.
That's just happens with the.
And
That's
compared
true.
to the Siren Song C, like, I don't know, just there was more impact with Holminster Switch. Like it was a. it
Yeah,
felt
there
immediate.
was. Especially after the second boss, when you just look at the village and like shit's just
Oh.
burning down,
The
and you're just
second
like,
boss. I mean, you know who the second boss is. Did you go back and watch those cutscenes?
Oh,
Because
my heart!
do you know who that is?
the second boss. I do not. No, I have not
Okay,
gone back and
so
watched cutscenes
right
yet.
when you go to find Alize, right?
Yes.
You're in this like village of people who've been like, they're afflicted with the thing. They're gonna turn into sin eaters at some
Yes.
point.
Yeah, I understand that
Like
part.
there's a person there who's
like
helping
the caretaker.
everyone out. The caretaker called Tesleen.
And her job
And
is like,
basically, her job is to just make sure that they don't like wander off and shit, right?
and also like
kids,
she's
right?
also like the chef who like, basically the idea is like, when they're about to fucking turn into a sin eater, she gives them like she prepares their last meal, like whatever.
Yeah,
they
she
fucking want,
gives them like
and gives her
whatever their
poison.
favorite meal and puts like poison in it and like
To
make
kill
sure
them.
they go like it's like instant fucking poison. It's supposed to just kill you instantly.
Like it destroys them and destroys to ensure that they can't become a
so they
sin
don't
eater.
become sin. But basically,
Okay.
this person there's like this like Al Raw kid who's like
Ah,
terminal, and you're going to go get his like last meal, and he's just like wandering off because he's like
fucking apples.
bones out, right? Because he's like practically a sin eater. He's like
He's fucking brain dead.
he just wanders off, right?
Mm-hmm.
She goes to go get him back, and then the big old sin eater comes
From the
and
trailer.
stabs her through from the trailer, the one from the trailer, just stabs her, and she becomes a sin eater and it flies off.
And the
And then
trans
you She transforms in front of you.
Yeah, and
then
it's
she flies
fucking
off.
just upsetting.
It's a really
Oh
that
shit.
cutscene was.
And
And then you go kill her in the first dungeon as the second boss, and you're
and that's
like,
why there's even like dialogue.
yeah,
in
that's
the
why
thing.
she like says the boss like says stuff and it's like crying out and stuff.
Yeah, that
and,
I didn't know about that part.
And
Dude.
you know how when it does the which move is it? It's like the one where it dashes around and then afterwards it kind of just like has like a seizure and just stops.
Yeah, and it kind of
autoing and
flies around. And it's like all
that's
fluttering.
like Tess because they still have their
Tesleen.
mind for a bit. So that's
Oh,
Tesleen like
fuck,
fighting
man.
back.
Dude,
Dude,
and
that's why
No, I don't want to go back in that dungeon. That's
dude,
horrible.
literally every comment is like, oh, finally, a great character right off the start that we get to
Dude,
meet, and then
it
immediately
hurts
they
so
just die,
badly.
and you have to, and then you have to go kill them, and you're just like, what the
and
fuck?
fucking Thrifty sends me a fucking message in Discord. It's like, look, I got this new thing, and if anything happens,
If
I'll fucking
anything
kill-
happens,
I'll kill everyone.
I'll kill everyone in this room, and then myself. And
10
then it's
minutes
just-
later,
It's just Tesleen. 10 minutes later, what the fuck?
I'm going on a crusade.
It's time for a crusade.
And it's just like, she actually was just like someone like you actually kind of cared about for 10 minutes, and then they just took her away.
Yeah, when I go
It
to do
fucking
the
Game of
story,
Thrones me, dude.
like
They did
after
Game of Thrones.
after I kill the raid tier, I'm gonna go back on my ult and like just strictly watch the cutscenes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like and just like
You
take it
should.
slow.
Read every bit of dialogue from every NPC because they say a whole bunch of stuff in between.
Oh, and do the trust while you're at it.
Yeah,
Why
do the
not? If you're
trust
gonna
the
go-
first
you're gonna
time
go
as
slow.
well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll do the trust the first time. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Hey,
because like I'm actually curious. What does Alice say if you take her with you on the trust? On that,
Oh, she says I forget, but she does say something.
she's gotta be like in pain, fucking
Oh
killing.
no,
her,
she's
right?
like, she definitely reacts. I don't remember what.
Yeah. And then yeah, fuck the beginning of fucking Shadowbringers. Like I did not like that at all. Like,
You're just
she, like,
like
You see her get stabbed, and then she just like starts spitting out light.
doing the you
You're
know how
like-
in the cutscene where you finally after you beat
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie's
Yeah, yeah.
innocence, you're like puking up.
Yeah,
the-
you're just
white
yakking
stuff.
your guts out.
Yeah, they do that like completely, and then they turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You're like,
fucked.
oh no.
And she like before she flies away to the dungeon, she's like, "I'm sorry, I can't
Yeah, she
control
looks
myself."
at you. I'm sorry, and then flies off.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, that's fucked.
It's just like, hello.
It's so fucked. I
How
That's
hate
can
it.
fucked.
you do this to me?
Yeah, that's actually.
And to torture myself, I watched it again today. I'm just like, why?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that because what I'll do is I'll do a series like a let's play type
It's
of thing and just go through the story.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then
All right, so Home Mr.
Yeah,
Switch
that-
clearly kicks ass.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Switch had so much more like
it had
impact compared
It
to
had
the other ones. Yeah.
yeah. So second dungeon. So we had what do we have in Heaven's
No,
Ward?
we had Somol,
Somo, right? We had
Oh yeah.
Shisui the Violet Tide,
Shisui, which is a
Another-
side dungeon. Yeah.
and then we had Don Meg.
The Meg. Yeah.
Yep.
And
I
guess which one beats it? In my opinion.
In my opinion, I like Shisui because it has one of the funniest mechanics.
Yeah,
Even
the
though
ult
even though it
mechanic
shits on
on that-
melee, it's so
No.
funny to watch people get old by accident. It's so
Oh,
funny. It's so funny.
Old. But,
That mechanic's a lot of fun, I think, in my opinion. Even though you can't hit the boss, it's one of the mechanics where it's just like you just have a little chuckle to yourself. But I would take Shisui. So before we
Trying to
go,
remember. Which one was the other one?
Somol.
Somol. Yep.
I hated
Somol is
Somol because nothing died in the damn dungeon either. So
Yeah, Somol's the last on my list. No, I still gotta say Shadowbringers. Don Meg.
so Don Meg, I think Don Meg
Yeah.
was really cool aesthetically.
Um,
The only thing
Yeah.
I hated the first time playing through is that little stupid boss in the beginning, the first one, because the mechanic was so dumb because it kept putting
Yeah.
circles all around the boss all the time.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yo,
stop.
remember everyone's
Oh.
shitting on Yoshi P when he gets hit, and then we go in, and everyone's
yeah.
violated by the boss, and you're like,
Ja-
wait.
Jaren, how does it? How do you think I felt as a caster? Mechanics.
I did it on
Mm.
Black Mage, dude.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, right?
Yeah,
See,
I
I
like
did it with trust, so I knew exactly where to stand.
I just put down my ley lines and was just
Cheating.
like, okay, my ley lines is underneath like 6 circles. Sick. You
It's
know?
useless. And then
where is the thing?
I will say, the final boss too for Don Meg, the where he like makes the little line that you have to go through.
Oh,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Dude.
I fucking so I hate heights.
Oh yeah,
And even going through that, I'm just like I was fucking like the trust system where I saw like Alice and no Alfino fucking go through that. I'm just like I'm gonna take my time.
No takes it, or it's like Midfilia.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm
They
not.
take their time.
Yeah, so
I'm
this
not
Alice
fucking-
just turns on sprint and books it across.
And then
and
fucking
Orion J
Orion J
cheats.
cheats.
He just Aetherium
And then-
manips to
And like that
nothing.
guy goes halfway, just dashes across the thing you can't do.
Yeah.
And then I had a fucking healer think, oh, I can just rescue someone from across the fucking thing.
Oh no!
Just
They
yeet
fucking
them.
I was literally
They just
this
pulled
close to
you
getting
into
to the
the
fucking
void.
end, and they pulled me to death, and I'm just like, you
Pulled
motherfuckers.
you into the void. You're just
Yeah.
like, not again.
And we fucking wiped on that run.
Oh wow.
I was very fucking upset.
Oh
Yeah.
god, the tragedy.
Can
Yeah.
can the Trust kill it by themselves?
No.
No.
No, so you have to go across. You can't mess up.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say that is the one dungeon I did do with the Trust, and
Maybe if you're on healer,
and you cannot big pull.
but
You cannot big
Maybe-
pull.
maybe-
You cannot big pull
no,
if you're a
can't-
tank.
You can't super pull on trust. You can do like medium pull.
You can big pull. You can big pull if you're a DPS. You can definitely big pull if you're a DPS.
you should be able to if you're a healer too.
You force Thancred
I
to
don't know
pull
who-
something.
I don't know who would do. I don't know who would do trust on healer, but that
Yeah,
sounds like
exactly. That just sounds
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially with the healer cues. All right, so we got 2 points to Shadowbringers, I think. Unless
Yeah.
Thrifty, what'd you pick? You picked Don Meg as well.
Yeah, it's based like I think overall it's. But I think I like some things in Shisui, but
Yeah.
Yeah, Shisui
like
has
I like
the
old, but
yeah.
but I think overall the dungeon
Don
for
Meg.
Meg's better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fair. All right, so we're on the
third one.
the 75s or the 65 or the 55 dungeon. So we had
the Airy,
the Airy
Harry.
from
Yep.
Bardam's Medal.
Bardam's Metal, so Mario Party,
Yep.
Yep.
and then we had
Katana Rebel.
the Katana Rebel.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna give this one, in my opinion, to Heaven's Ward. I thought the Airy was awesome.
Harry was a
Uh,
good dungeon.
It was good aesthetically. The bosses were at least interesting. The things didn't take forever to kill. And you got to fight damn well Nidhogg.
You got to fight Nidhogg. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wicked.
You're talking about the Airy, right? I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I thought you said Bardam's Medal. I was like, wait, when do you fight
No.
Nidhogg?
No,
Why
Bardam's
did you put
Metal, leveling Bardam's Metal. Okay, you got a free pass
Yeah,
on the
but-
second boss.
That was the one you
Yeah.
get in. Everyone just starts getting
And the
annihilated.
people still fuck up.
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
no, Bardam's Metal. If you were not the level above, or like the on like, if you're not
Yeah,
66,
you just got
or didn't
got
have any
annihilated.
gear, and you were a tank, you got obliterated. Like you had to do small pulls, and that was even still scary.
Yeah.
Like you got annihilated. Like imagine
Yep.
trying to do
Yep.
that dungeon back in the expansion if Warrior didn't have Steel Cyclone and stuff now. You couldn't do that.
Yep.
You would be a liability. You're a liability. It's
Oh, yeah,
it's
no.
basically how Warrior felt in Dawn Meg. You go to do big pulls and Warrior don't, you can't. Like you just can't. You use all your cooldowns first big pull and it's like, okay, well I have home gang.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
like
You know?
I'm alive for like 6 seconds.
And then I'm
Like,
dead.
is that good enough?
And then you
Oh,
have
yeah.
Dark Knight who's just like Blackest Night, I'm invincible.
I'm a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going with the area, I guess, there.
I think the area. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Airy. What would be second place? What do you think?
I think second place probably
Katana
has
Rebel.
to.
The Katana Rebels.
Yeah, Katana Row was decent.
You look at the Bat Squatch.
Yeah, Bat Squatch. Bat Squatch.
The
Bat Squatch was cool.
Bat Squatch just annihilates people.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's
It
pretty
killed me
fun.
the first time.
And also the big pulls in that is actually pretty good. I like.
And
the
I
big
can
pulls
I
in
can finally see where those pillars go. It took like a million. I'm like, oh, it's this way.
Dude, I
okay.
just always went to the edge of the map and I was safe.
that.
yeah.
literally.
I finally know what it is now, though, like for the exact
Yeah.
spots.
Okay, so now the 70, the 77, 67, 57 dungeons. So we got the Vault from Heaven's Ward.
Vault.
Mhm.
We got Doma Castle,
Mhm.
and then we got the Malika's Well, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think Stormblood loses on this. I mean, Shadowbringers loses on this one for sure.
Shadowbringers loses.
Yeah, I think
it's hard for me for this one.
when I first did the Vault, I didn't like it because everything was invincible there too. It was like the Bardam's Medal of the expansion. Well, mind you, every dungeon just didn't die, but
Yeah.
looking back on it, I think it was pretty cool because the dungeon talks shit to you.
Yep.
It's like just
Filthy
filthy rats.
But dude, the best thing about Doma Castle.
Doma Castle.
Come on.
Oh, Doma
Rip
Castle.
and tear.
Doma
There
Castle.
you go.
Doma Castle.
Die.
The best thing about Doma Castle was that one, you could EXP cheese it and just like do everything up and including the first boss, and that was more EXP you would get from all the other dungeons.
Yeah.
But the best part about it was when you did that first big pull, and you hit like, so you're a monk, right? And you got Fists of Fire. You got Fists of Fire now because you're 68 when you do that dungeon a few times. You turn on Fists of Fire and you get that Rock Breaker, and you turn on at the time you had Inner Release, and you hit that Elixir field on like 25 mobs. It was well, like you hit that Decimate on everything. You know, you had the stupid AoE. I actually found out about that mechanic that you could just dodge to the side by accident.
The chainsaw,
Yeah.
one that you just walk to the side.
Yeah,
Every time I
what?
told someone that, they're just like, "What?"
You could walk to the side of it.
No, literally,
No
he just takes the chainsaw and he goes, and he just
Yeah.
holds it there,
You
like
would-
shaking, like holding it there, and all you have to do is walk to the side, and you're fine.
No way. Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought people just thought it was a tank buster because it
Yeah.
doesn't do that much damage.
The
Yeah.
funniest thing was Zeno said on his stream that he goes, "Yo, that boss, I just stand in it. I'm just blinded by how cool he is. I just take it."
Yeah.
But for me, I actually
really
accidentally
tough.
pulled, and I had to
Give me
like do
your
some
soul.
shenanigans to move like the boss in a certain way. For whatever
Yeah.
reason, I happened to move away off the side. I'm like, I don't have to stand in
yeah.
this. He's not actually
Yeah.
hitting me with it.
No.
But dude, then I will say in defense of Heaven's Wards, which one was it? The Vault? Come on, that also had a great last boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. There
what-
shall be
what's the-
mercy. You disgust
no,
me.
what was the other one? He said
I have the power.
Yeah.
no, the
Second
purge
one?
part. Purge.
Sickness must be purged.
Sickness must be purged.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be purged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All the knights were good.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
give a point to the Vault for this one,
I think
just because the cutscene afterwards was
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go
never
Doma
included that.
Castle.
Yeah.
But
I think I'm gonna go Doma Castle because I think Doma Castle was like arguably one of the best dungeons they've ever made. Period. Just like aesthetically for one, fights for two. The big pulls were obviously nuts. The only thing I didn't like was that stupid spider before the last boss because the thing was invincible. But that's fine.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was fine. So I'm going Doma Castle. So the tiebreaker goes to you, Thrifty. What
I
are you picking?
mean, I'd say if we include the cutscene, it's the Vault, but without the cutscene, it's Doma Castle.
Okay, fair play.
Yeah.
Well, you
that's
talk
And,
you talking shit on storage? You don't like my boy's
Yeah.
storage, dude?
Yo, I'm talking shit on Bucket Man.
Yeah, dude, that boss is stupid. I hate that boss.
The
dude.
Bucket Man, dude.
Dude, the knockback nerf is real. They literally did it just so we have to fight that guy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All right, so now we're on the 79 dungeons, the 79, 69, 59. So we had,
Gooball?
what did we have? I can't even remember what we had in Heaven's
The
Ward.
Great Gooball Library.
Right,
Heaven
it was
Library.
Gooball. It was
Castrum
Gooball.
Abania.
Castrum
Castrum
Abania,
Abania.
that's last.
And
Blank.
then
Gold.
And then Mount
Gould.
Gould, yeah. I think Castlevania was last because if you didn't have a healer that was like decent, they couldn't heal the last boss because the bleed was just brutal
Yeah, I'm
when
gonna.
he did the Kitu slash. Which
When
was
he-
like a
when he-
1
when
second
he blows
cast.
himself up.
Yeah,
just
and he's
blows
just a
himself
1
up
second
and-
cast, and he did like
You
3
just
of
have to
them.
know you literally have to know the rotation going in to like
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
down it properly.
Yeah, he did.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, for me, like most of these dungeons I'm ranking based off how much I remember them, like in a good experience.
Yeah.
And I don't remember Castrum Abania that much,
Yeah.
so it's last for me.
I've done it a lot, and I still don't.
It's
remember that
forgettable.
much.
Yeah, it is pretty
compared to the other
forgettable.
ones. Yeah, it's because the last boss is just some like roid dude, and then like half the mobs in the thing
Yeah.
are just some roid dude.
It would have made
Yeah.
more sense if they could have somehow worked the story towards Doma Castle would have been last. That would have been like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
but
Mount
I mean,
Goog, we're climbing up and we're going to
Goog,
a
dude, Goog is
final
Goog is
fight.
Goog is
And-
number one for sure. It's not even close.
And even like just I love the cutscene prior to that where the fucking you didn't watch any of the cutscenes, did you? Like any of them, Jaren?
I watched a few of kind of the
Watched a
important
couple,
ones.
Yeah.
Did you watch the one where before you go like as the
He
whatever
basically
the
like
automaton?
I know what allows us to get up there. Like
Yeah.
I saw all that stuff go down. Yeah, I've
It
seen
has a
that.
lot of Stormblood vibes where everyone's fucking pitching in to like help you out.
yeah.
And like fucking Fayeol, fuck, why am I forgetting her name?
Feul.
Fayeol like comes in and she's pissed at you
Yeah.
as she saves you. She's just like
Why did you not ask me?
yeah.
I'm just like there isn't even an option where you can either say thanks Fayeol or I think she's fucking pissed at me.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw
I'm
that,
just
yeah.
like about that I'm just like, man, I feel bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
so,
thought Gooball was kind of cool as well, but I think Mount Goog is just like
Mount
Goog
Goog
is
was sick.
it's
I am
It-
righteousness,
yeah.
I am right. No, that's
and righteousness will prevail.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the like the voiceover like theme of the dungeon was cool.
Oh yeah.
I didn't appreciate that they reused the boss asset though from
Which
what was
one?
it? Amdapor Keep hard mode. Or
Oh,
the great
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, technically yeah they did. Yeah, a
I
little
was
bit.
joking. It's a joke.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure. I know.
Yeah.
You gotta- they
Um,
had demon walls, but it was like light walls.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the fucking lion.
Oh, the lion.
Yeah, come on, man.
Oh,
We're using an
sure.
asset. Come on.
Yeah.
Imagine
Well, he
raising
did
that.
different stuff, so
Mm.
which was
Exactly.
is what it
Oh
is.
god, I'm getting annihilated. Oh god, they're killing me.
But yeah, so basically, most of those went to Shadowbringers, and then we got the two trials. So for
Are we
Heaven's
not gonna do
Ward,
the story dungeon?
oh, we'll get to those afterwards because
Okay.
technically the trials were in the
Okay,
leveling
yeah.
process too.
They were in the leveling stuff.
Yeah, so the normal we'll separate the normal modes from the actual, or I'll call it raid content. So we have Titania and Vothri or Innocence.
Innocence. Yeah.
In Stormblood, we had Susano and we had Lakshmi. And in Heaven's Ward, we had Ravana and Bismarck.
Should we like rank all of them? Like.
No, I think we should do like the first.
Oh, should we compare first and second?
Yeah, kind of like
first and
first and second. See, the problem is that all of them have one that's like, eh. And then you have, then the other one is like,
Yeah.
thumbs up type of stuff. So, like, as an example, everyone likes Ravana. Nobody likes Bismarck, really.
I like Bismarck.
But as much as
Did you?
Ravana,
Did you really like Bismarck?
Not as much as Ravana.
I think Ravana's
but-
music is dope when you go on the mount, the nice
I
calming
love it.
music. I think
Dude,
that's cool.
the
You are-
dialogue with Ravana is amazing.
You already know I loved Ravana's music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go
And
to
then,
you go to Stormblood. Nobody liked Lakshmi, but everyone thought Susanna was badass.
Lakshmi was
hilarious.
Annoying.
He's literally just like let's have fun. I want to see how
Yeah.
good you are.
And dude, the sword part.
Yeah, you get to hold up the sword. That was
There's
like
a fucking black mage just stopping it.
rules of nature.
Yeah. Was that actually the first active time maneuver?
I
No,
know
it wasn't. It was
Stormblood.
Cruise
No, I think
Chaser.
it was-
It was Cruise Chaser.
Yeah.
Chaser.
I was about to say, in
It was just a-
Stormblood
It was
they
just a button. It was the
Yeah.
first one where you hit the smash button. So
Yeah.
No, Chris Chaser was smash button.
no, it was just press button to get off the thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, you just had to press the button to get
it was
off
just
the
tap it to get off.
Oh yeah.
to
yeah,
jump
yeah.
off. Yeah.
And who could fucking chicken it the most?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was chicken is what it
Yeah.
was. Didn't matter.
And
And who's-
then
who's
we
leading
had
the crowd?
Titania and Innocence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, out of all those trials, my favorite is still Susano. Out of all of those, but that's just because I not only liked the theme, I liked the arena, I liked even in the extreme as well, like the whole theme of it. How he was just like, he's like, what a wonderful, what did he say? What a wonderful dance
What a
indeed.
memorable dance
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, he
memorable
thinks it's like a little bit of fun. It's like kind of
Yeah,
just like an
yeah, it's kinda
exercise
fun.
type of thing. And he's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool, thanks. I know you're worthy. All right, peace out. You know,
Um,
I'm pretty sure Lakshmi's last.
Lakshmi is last.
it's a tie between Lakshmi and Bismarck in my opinion for me.
No, dude, Bismarck's way better than King Lakshmi. Even though you're just fighting trash, it's literally like at least,
Okay,
at least you know,
we
there's
can
like
we could safely say that Ravana, Innocence, and Susanoo are the top 3.
Yes, I'll give that. Yes, it's really hard for me. It's Susanoo or Ravana in first place.
Yeah,
Like they're just clashing, or they're just buddy
Yeah.
buddy. Because like I just want them to meet up and just like
yeah.
fucking fight it out because they're having fun.
Yeah.
Someone write a fan fiction about that, by the way.
no.
And then Innocence, Titania, and then whoever those two other
Yeah.
ones were.
All right. So now we got the expert dungeons. So we're gonna judge all the story dungeons.
Yep.
So the Heaven's Ward story dungeon, I can't even remember. I couldn't even tell you what it is.
Aetherical chemical.
Aetherochemical research facility.
That's probably why I don't remember it, because I hate it.
It's because we had to farm it so much for Tone.
Yes, it was bad.
It had our
Yeah.
boy Van Hydras in it though.
That's true.
It did.
Like he dashed around the arena, which is a nuisance.
And it had La Ha 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 Brea
And
That's
the
true, yeah.
Asian
and
Prime.
Giga Yorm, right?
And then we had and then you
Actually,
just
and that looked awfully familiar. Now that I think about it, that looked awfully similar to how Hades.
a little bit.
Now that I think
Not
about it,
not really though.
not exactly, but like
the cloth
obviously,
maybe.
Like Hades was like a full version of like.
You know what Hades reminded me of though? Wall of Illusions from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
What is this?
Yeah, it's like a just an effect monster,
what is
but
With,
that's
like
what
a
it
bunch
reminded
of
me of.
fucking masks
I
on
got
it.
another
Yeah.
forlorn. Nice.
But so then we had for Stormblood we had Alamigo, which was obviously pretty cool.
Well, Amigos.
I thought.
Pretty
Amigo's great.
And then you had Amarat.
Amarat's just on another level, dude.
So
It's not.
I'm gonna tell you my experience with Amarat because you guys weren't.
I did trust in there too.
You weren't in the channel when I did that.
No
when I
problem.
watched, so the only cutscenes that I watched the first time around without watching anyone else's stream, I happened to watch one in the Raktika Greatwood where I saw Emmett Selk walk down and was like, "Hey guys, are we gonna continue going on our adventure?" And I'm just like, "Huh?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean he's friends with us now?" I'm like, "He's an Asian. Do we not know that?" Come to find out, he just
we
reveals
know.
himself and then actually
Yep, we know.
wants to do it anyway. And then I did
watched the
obviously the cutscene after the 79 dungeon because I knew, based on like what I had seen, that we were gonna go fight Vol 3. I was like, okay, cool. That cutscene was pretty good. The thing that messed me up was, so we go down to the dungeon, then I see him and he's like, okay, talking about it. You need to meet me inside, and he opens up the door and you just see a big wall of fire, and you're just like, what the fuck
That's
is
because
happening?
the whole area is a thing he just created. It's like he just made it. Like that whole city.
Yeah.
He just made it.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm just
to
looking at
show-
it just
to-
like,
he made it to prove a point to us. He's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, you don't believe me? Here you go.
This is what we could have.
yeah.
This is what it could be." Yeah.
And before that, before I saw the wall of fire, the first thing when I saw it, when you're going through the tunnels and then you finally come out, I skipped the cutscene where you see the city for the first time, and I come out of the cutscene and I see the city. I'm just like, I can't even begin to explain how this exists or why it's here and why I'm here. I don't even know.
You know,
I don't know.
Literally, the cutscene just goes, "By the gods," and then it does the reveal, and you're like, "What the?"
Yeah,
fuck?
I've
Well,
seen
it
it
is.
now, and I saw it, and I was like,
I feel a lot of like
excuse
I
me?
feel a lot of Dante's Inferno vibes from that kind of. To some
Yeah.
degree. I'll explain why later.
But yeah, and then the last cutscene I obviously watched after that dungeon.
Yeah.
But after you kill the second boss and you go in the portal and then you're just like in the universe, like looking at the world down below, and I stopped for a second. I'm just like, all right, is somebody gonna explain this to me? Because my mind's gone, dude. My mind is
Yeah, telling
gone.
us the story of the fall of the thing.
I took
The
like
fall of
10
the
seconds
first
to
world.
myself to be like,
The fall of the Amoratine, aka Asian, aka us
first being.
question mark, aka yeah, a lot of things.
But
I legit was just like looking around, was just like, I don't even know like if I can compose myself in this big pool or a pool. Like
yeah.
I'm like I can fall off the edge here or something, and I'll just fall like.
Oh,
And the
Oh, here
thing,
we
and I even fell off the edge. Like I went onto the edge. I was like, what if you could fall off and what happens? And I started falling, and I was like, oh my, you can actually fall off.
that was the first trust dungeon I ever died in. Because I went to go see if you could fall off the cliff.
And you
Yeah.
fell off the
And
cliff.
you could.
Oh,
And you
no,
could.
Yeah.
And that was
For me-
and then I'm like, oh, good thing it doesn't you just start and you do it again. It's like fine.
for me, the final boss was I was like, oh, I just gotta go on these like little sections here. I didn't notice it was glowing, so when it fucking fired it, I just died.
Oh,
I'm like,
Did
I
you just
fucking
fall-
fell.
You
I'm
fell.
like, what the hell happened? I died to the mechanic correctly.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
god,
is
the
other
easiest
shit.
trick in the book.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Hold on, just as a side note, I just got that super Twisted Fate buff again. I'm going to do a bonus XP fate. I'll let you guys know how much I get. It's gonna
Okay.
be like 1.8 mil or something ridiculous.
So Amaro has a renowned, like it's just probably gonna be the
Amaro.
best dungeon.
No, it's just like
Yeah.
even the like nameplates on the map are telling you the story of their people,
Yeah.
and I'm like, so like literally as you're going through the dungeon, it just reads them out to you. I'm like, wait, that's actually insane. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty good. Even for somebody that knew nothing like me, I'm just going around just like sure,
what?
like I'm like, oh, we can fight this thing. Oh, there's more ads. Okay, this thing is casting burst. Okay, now I'm standing above a unit. I don't know what's going on. I
Surely it won't look cooler the next scene I go to, and then it just does. It's like surely, okay, not
I'm
again.
like, surely
and it
they've
just does.
topped that. That's when I was like, okay, I think I need to watch the cutscene.
Yeah.
So I watched the cutscene,
just
and then I
just a
saw
little
some
bit.
stuff happen, and then I'm just like,
Can we- yeah.
okay.
Yes.
And then now we get on to the like final trial of all the expansions. So we have Nidhogg for Heaven's
No, it was
Ward.
Thornton.
Oh, Thornton.
Thornton.
Sorry, it was Thornton.
Thornton,
What's
yeah.
Thornton?
Thornton, Shinryu, and then
Thornton, Shinryu,
Hades.
and Hades. Now, I'm gonna be hard pressed to say anything over Thornton, but we have yet to see obviously the extreme version of Hades. So
It's Hades.
Mhm.
I'm already telling you now. It's Hades and it's Thornton and Shinryu. It's over. Hades is 2 fights. It literally resets your LB bar in the middle because it's
It's
2
like
fights.
it's like the savage Omegas again.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, they're like, well, we got rid of door bosses except for Hades apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
transition when when all those masks are floating around, you're just like, bro, I ain't sleeping tonight.
I wasn't. Yeah, no. But no, I'll agree with Thrifty on the Hades, Thornton,
Hades,
Shinryu.
Thornton,
Mhm.
and Shinryu. Shinryu is just like it's just like Xenos in a dragon, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, we knew that we were pretty disconnected from the Stormblood like
Stormblood
story
ending.
anyway, for the most part.
Like,
No,
'cause
Shinryu was like,
it was
I-
too
I-
it was
I-
too
that's
back
just
and
the
forward. It was too
Yeah,
back and
I will
forward.
say I liked Alamigo, the dungeon for Alamigo.
The dungeon, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
Alamigo
know,
was
It was
cool,
good.
yeah.
It was good.
it's weird.
And then we have the expert dungeons. So we had this
I'll
time
look
we
it
had
up.
the Academy and the Twinning, which were both very good dungeons. For Stormblood, we had Temple of the
Uh,
Fist and Kugane Castle. So we got to fight
Yep.
Yojimbo.
Yep.
For
And then
we
for
have Never
Heaven's
Reap-
Ward, we had a dungeon that shall
had-
never be named. With those
Heavens-
stupid Vanu Vanu.
Heaven's Reap or whatever.
No,
Never
it was
Reap.
Never Reap.
Never Reap. Never. Oh yeah,
That's-
always Reap.
and the
You-
Fractal Continuum.
Yeah,
Fractal Continuum.
you
Fractal
never
Continuum.
reap, you never talk
Always
about it.
Reap. Always Reap.
No, you never reap, you never talk about it because it's so
No,
bad.
because it was always Reap because it was, it was the
Well,
only
it was-
thing in the roulette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was 1.7 million XP from that one fit.
Nice.
That's gross.
Plus
See-
465%.
Yeah, the Twinning and the Academy were obviously were pretty good. I thought Kugane Castle was pretty good because you get to fight Yojimbo.
Yep.
The rest of them were kind of eh.
And
Which
they
was
the other one,
bunch of
Stormblood?
money in-
It was Temple of the Fist.
Oh yeah,
Couple
fuck that.
days.
I didn't even care about
The
that.
rogue dude is like the wrong. What's his name? Coral Fist guy.
Yeah.
Monk Relic Man.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he was cool. But the second
Monk
boss
Relic
was
Man.
just
the
was
rest
just
of the dungeon was meh.
the second boss
Yeah.
was just AIDS.
The last boss was great though.
Yeah.
The second boss for that one was just Ravana.
Yeah, it was.
But worse.
It was worse for
Yeah.
Vana.
Yeah, it was stupid. But yeah,
You know,
so pretty much
Academy and Twinning.
resounding
Dude, this is the best.
Resounding
I'm gonna
sweep.
say it right. This is the best expert reel I've ever read. It's not even.
Yeah, it
close.
is good.
Yeah.
It is good.
It's not. It's not even like any point, any patch. This
Now
is
my
best.
question is, they said we're getting 9 dungeons. We only got 8. Where's my 9th dungeon?
Didn't they say they were gonna add one in?
That's not a dungeon.
I think
That's-
what they meant by
that was the
9
map
dungeons is
thing.
they either misspoke or they're talking about the map.
Including the.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I think
5,
they
6,
were.
7, 8.
Maybe
I
they
thought-
meant 9 like instances. 9 like. Oh no, because that.
Wait. Let me count how many we got here.
It should be 8.
1,
8.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Because there's 3
6,
at
7,
80
8.
and there's 5.
Yeah, no, and there we only got 8 for the first.
Yeah, we always get.
Heaven's Ward and.
Yeah.
I thought the rumor was, from what I heard, maybe I misheard it, but they said they were gonna add a dungeon.
That was
when,
the.
Um.
It's called a dungeon, right? But it's just a map dungeon
Oh, okay. For
for the new
5.05.
maps. Yes, because that's not out yet.
Yeah,
Having
know.
done one map, I know it's not out yet.
Okay. And then.
Yeah.
Oh, to clarify one cutscene, because I guess this is content before we go into that.
Mhm.
When we fucking confront Emmett Selk at the before the Hades boss, where
Yep.
like you're like, I challenge you, and he looks at you, he's like, Nani, and you fucking see that one.
Oh yeah. You see
Is that like a previous like incarnation of us?
That's supposed to be our soul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
So that
Clearly,
was, like-
he clearly knows who our soul.
hmm
They meant like it's the same thing. How he says like, "Oh, you wouldn't remember that at the fucking."
Yeah, because
at
we're like
you go
8.
to the
We're like
big
8.
lift or
That's what I
whatever.
assumed.
We're like 8 or 9 souls or something stupid, right?
Well, no. Okay, so you see, you don't know this because you skipped the cutscene. So basically, Zodiark was created to save them from the first
That.
beast and that big floating Cthulhu monster thing at the end of the Amaranth dungeon, right?
Yeah, all of
Mhm.
that shit.
That was why they summoned Zodiark, was to get rid of it. It was just the world, basically. It's the worldo, right?
hmm
And then basically the theory is because there was a council of like the higher up Amoratine, which became like the Asian Council, basically, eventually, right? And the theory is we're the one that left the council and like forced Hydaelyn into existence to keep the balance, because the whole
Yeah.
thing was like Zodiark isn't in check; it just does whatever it wants, kind of thing, right? We need something to keep it balanced. And what Hydaelyn's power is it just divides. It's just divide.
It divides
So
Zodiark.
it just divided it, and by dividing Zodiark, it divided the world itself into
And
14
divided all the peoples. as
all
well.
the people. It divided
Oh, shit.
everything, right?
Yeah. And so,
So,
we're
yeah.
one of those people that
The
got.
theory is
divided
we're the one that actually split off and did that, but that's not confirmed. That's just a theory.
and the
A
warrior.
game theory.
And what was the warrior darkness's name?
Oh, Artbert.
Ardbert.
Artbert is one of our fragments.
He's just a warrior of light from this world.
Yeah.
All of them,
he-
they were told by who was it who brought them
Elidibus.
over? Elidibus, to say they were warriors of darkness in our world, but they are just in fact warriors of light from
that got
this
tricked.
world.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he is. I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. He is one of our fragments, right? He was.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
he is
he's a-
now,
He is,
at least.
No,
he
he
is
was
the main. He was already. He is
Yeah.
the main, like, chosen one of this world.
Yeah.
Of the
Yeah, he
first.
was the first fragment of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
There
Well,
are
if he-
other
e-
people.
even if-
I don't know if how much you guys care. I know Zendrick might care about the role quest spoiler, so I don't really want to say it.
Yeah, I still haven't done it, so don't.
Even if there was a speculation of whether he was or wasn't, you absorb
like-
him at the end anyway, so he's part of you now,
He-
regardless.
Well, he
Mhm.
kind of are. He wasn't like with us, but he was like only visible.
He was like our
Even-
conscience on our shoulder
Even
type of
Emmett
thing.
couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Only we could see him, because he
Yeah.
was
And-
already like
and
as soon as we came to the world, he started like being active again, basically.
Yeah.
And that one dude in the cutscene could see you. You could see him. Remember, you're sitting down and waiting for your name to be called.
Yes. The one
that's what-
the guy that actually had
And I had
I
assumed
forgot
that
his name. It's like it was began with an H or something, right?
It was
I
one of-
assumed
it
that
was one of
he
the
was
ghouly
one of our
looking dudes.
fragments that we didn't know.
It was one of the Immortine, yeah.
Yeah.
The like
Those dudes
Pretty
are
much.
toll.
That's who I thought was in that cutscene where like he's like not me, and then like I was like,
No,
oh,
yeah.
were we talking to one of
no,
ourselves again?
we weren't.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Who knows? Ooh.
Maybe we were, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt that the one that he specifically didn't like pre-program to do specific things by accident also was us. So
Well, maybe it was like so. Sorry, I'm
it was definitely a friend of ours,
scary. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Because he said like he knew us or whatever, right?
Okay. Cool.
But yeah.
God.
All
I
right.
need more.
Now we're gonna move on to the stuff that everyone cares about. The raid content.
How rude.
Raid content.
The
Not even real
raid
raid content
content.
Uh-huh.
So
Normal mode.
we have the expert dungeon. Not the expert dungeons. The extreme primals, which obviously
Okay.
came out when the expansion launched.
Which are dirt easy.
Yep.
But we have the Eden raid.
Yes.
Mhm.
So the bosses were in the order of Eden Prime,
Very surprising.
the Shadow dude. I can't remember what his name
Void-
was.
Walker thing.
Voidwalker.
Void Walker. I see what you
Yeah.
did there. I see what you did there, Square. Just taking something straight out of Blizzard's book.
Not actually though, but
Straight out of no, I'm just saying straight out.
Sure,
It's just
sure.
because his name a Hearthstone card.
Why do you call?
Yeah, literally. And then we have reskin Leviathan. And-
it's our memories, Leviathan.
Yeah.
Kappa.
Yeah. Again, we were hitting his tail and his head, and we're like, this doesn't make sense. Why am I
No,
hitting his
the whole-
tail?
It's a mixture of every water thing we've ever fought.
No.
That's what it's supposed to be.
When do we fight something with two heads?
I think that I don't know what that's from, but like the literally all the moves are supposed to be a mixture of.
Yeah.
And then we have Titan, who apparently played a lot of Mario Kart before he came and fought us.
Berserker!
Berserker from.
Yeah.
Okay. hold on,
And he also seemed to have
let me find
he was a
that.
little pissed off at us. So he probably he got a membership at the gym, and he's looking ripped. So
He also armored up.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of
let me-
Control Warrior.
Let me
Yeah.
link this so you can see.
And then,
That is a clip directly from Carnival Phantasm, which is the Fate like side series,
but it fucking
and it's
It
just
ma-
got Berserker, but
was basically
yeah.
Titan.
Yeah.
it's literally
basically
that's all
Titan.
I can think of when I see Titan
Yeah.
now. It's just this.
So
Um,
my thing is this, right? So all the bosses were cool. They all had like different ways. Obviously, the Eden Prime obviously had the cool like kind of ultimate move that I hope for God's sake it's not in Savage because I don't want to sit there for a minute.
No, so what I think they might do for Savage, they'll either just leave it in fully, or they'll do because like in Final Fantasy games they usually have like quick summon version. So maybe
Yeah.
they'll do quick version where it just
Yeah.
instant.
Hopefully they do a quick version.
But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it'll just be the full thing.
But my speculation is this: are those going to be the bosses in the order that we fight them in Savage, or do you think they're going to be in a different order? Because my
No,
thinking is that
I
Eden
think-
Prime's going to be last.
They
Same
have
order.
to be in this order.
they,
You
they,
think-
they
you
don't they
think?
don't deviate from that.
Yeah. They're gonna be in this order because all the other fights canonically require us to have control. Because the rebuilding platforms in Leviathan is Green using Eden's power to rebuild the platforms.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they just wouldn't come back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that makes sense.
And then, like, to be on top of Eden, it has to be in the air for the Voidwalker thing, and
Yep.
it wouldn't be in the air if we hadn't turned it on and taken control of it.
Yep.
So
that's true.
I think it's just they wanted to get the Eden Prime thing just whatever out of the way because that's not the main focus.
Yeah, the main
Even though the
focus
place
is
is called
giving all the
Eden,
elements back.
They're gonna
Yeah.
get all the like. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna keep that's our main goal, but the main focus will end up being this void stuff eventually.
Which I feel like will be the last tier.
Because I don't know if you actually watched the cutscenes for that.
Get into it,
Oh
but
yeah.
Basically, the person who's the void walker, like the Dark Knight, right?
yeah, I know that there's something about him.
It's the character. It's some grill that was designed by Nomura
Yep. It's
from
Kyrie.
from Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yeah.
It's Kyrie.
Yeah,
If your
Kingdom
name's
Hearts,
Kyrie,
right?
I'm gonna fucking lose my shit.
No, I think they showed their name too. It's in the like
Oh,
one of
did
the
they?
old things. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We don't know
Hmm.
yet for in the story.
But she is
basically they're the Oracle of Darkness from the Void.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So
That
they're
throws a little
basically
wrench
like
in
Reed,
things.
but like for darkness.
Mhm.
So
And they
yeah,
said-
that should be pretty. That's pretty interesting.
Did they say she was from the void or from another world?
Another world, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the Void.
So from another
Let's
shard.
be, it's the Void because it's a Void Walker. Let's be real.
Maybe.
That's true.
Yeah.
Unless they're introducing another shard.
I feel like they
Which
might.
Now,
They can do that.
my thinking is that is the next two raid tiers after this gonna have like a combination of like Ffxiv for Fire and Ice, and then have
I'm.
Garuda and Ramu?
My theory is, second tier we deal with all the rest of the elements, and then third tier, right when the second tier ends, the story is like void shit happens or darkness shit happens, and that's the last tier.
I think it's gonna
Okay.
be. I think the first thing that's gonna happen is there's gonna be more Void shit in the next one, and then we'll have like we'll deal with a little bit of Void shit. We'll do two primals and then deal with Void shit again, and then in the last one we do two primals off the bat and just like basically reverse the order from the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would
Makes
make the
sense.
most sense because I think it's gonna end like we're gonna restore the whole thing, and then it's gonna
And
end
then there's
on,
gonna be
like,
some evil person.
there's gonna be some other thing that's blocking
Yeah.
us from fixing it,
Yeah, exactly.
and that'll be like the Void stuff, and then we'll deal with that. And
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
So did we enjoy the fights? I thought they were all pretty cool.
I loved all those fights.
I
They were
just
great.
know that there ain't enough dashes in Titan for
There
my
actually are on Samurai.
for my character.
There actually are on Samurai.
Well, in Samurai,
You can the only one you can't do the second one. Okay, when it does the three race car bit,
yeah, I don't think there's any job in the game that can do that.
you can dash in on the first one and then you can dash in on the third one,
Yeah.
and it's fine. But like True North doesn't work on, or not True North, Arm's Length doesn't work on that.
Yeah,
So,
which is
I
unfortunate.
don't think it does. It doesn't work on that, right? Maybe it does. I didn't actually try on that part. I only tried on the big knockback. You know,
Yeah.
the when he jumps knockback. But yeah,
Yeah.
I liked
Stop black mage friendly.
pretty much all those fights. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, it's
None
not.
of, none of those fights are. Black
I am
mage.
happy I leveled up Red Mage first in my ult. That's like,
I-
I'm like,
You,
This was the
when
correct-
we went in there, you're like, oh, just say black mage, it's fine.
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not. It's not fun.
That's because I already
It's
knew
not-
what it was. I'm like, it'll be fine.
You know what?
It's not fine.
You know. So
Christian
this.
only died 8 times the first time or something. It's not a big deal.
So this can actually move on quite nicely actually to the actual jobs and how they interact with the game, because we haven't talked too much about them.
Yeah.
Just an FYI, I am going summoner, or that new job that they added.
That new job, that
yeah.
that Red McGee.
Yeah, that Red
it's
McGee.
called? Yeah.
When we do Savage,
Understandable.
and then when I feel like I can like stay in place for a good amount of time,
Once
And
we
we'll
figure
go
out all this
Black
stuff,
Meiju.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a lot of people's strats. So
that's
like
what
as an
I'm gonna do
example,
for my ult
Elysium
as well.
has one of their groups has Sphia, who's obviously a renowned black mage player. So what he'll
Black
do is he'll play red mage, and then once he's like, guys, I know what to do. They'll be
Yeah.
like, bring in the glass cannon, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because black mage
Galaxy
is
Brain.
super strong. The problem
Yeah, no,
is that
it's
when
strong.
you,
It can't.
unfortunately, I think my group we're starting with a black mage, which is
Oh,
gonna be
fuck.
an absolute nightmare in my opinion.
Dude,
Just,
But
I'm just gonna say this.
good luck.
Get ready to not meet DPS checks for a little bit.
Oh, when yeah.
yeah. Which is why I'm a big advocate for things that do their like consistent damage whether they drop or not. So like as an example, I would take Bard over a Dancer for Prog. Reason being is because Dancer has to keep up their stuff every 30 seconds. If they drop, they're not only affecting themselves, they're affecting the rest of the raid, and they're affecting their dance partner. Whereas if a Bard drops, it just needs to be not during battle voice. Basically, or their burst window, because they do consistent damage for the most part.
The
Whereas
thing is, if you
Dancers
have
is
a
more
dancer
bursty.
and a healer drops, you can do the heal checks,
Yeah.
even with the healer dead. Like even with less GG from
Yeah,
the other healer.
I mean, but
that's
that's
the other thing. So it's like,
I mean, if a healer drops and like the other healer is like basically like on bingo mana, like they're just out of mana completely, and you need like a heal or something, is Curing Waltz gonna save you? You're probably screwed
Maybe.
regardless.
I mean, it might.
Because if one
Yeah.
healer's
It-
dead
it's a
and the other
lot.
healer's on 0 mana, that means both healers
Yeah.
have died, or one of them's just so out of mana it's unreal. Which would also probably mean that your caster's also out of
If
mana,
your-
which means you're
if your
probably
healer's-
screwed.
If your healer's out of mana, then they're
Hopefully
not
it's a white
pressing their
mage.
They're not pressing their buttons right. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're not
hopefully it's a
surviving.
white mage.
You can't run out of mana.
Yeah,
And if your casters run out of
even-
mana,
that
Even
means they
Resident
probably
Evil
died.
sa-
Yeah,
no, it's because they haven't pressed Lucid Dreaming because they're not used
That's
to
Yeah,
it.
true,
it's
yeah.
again, it's like you just have to press. If you just press Lucid's so strong now.
yeah.
It
Well,
is,
what
it's
you
just-
do,
It's a foreign
right?
button for summoners.
What you do
Yeah.
is doesn't matter if you're on keyboard or controller. You just take one of the hotbars, you make it like 600%, so the icon's like this big on your screen, and it's just
Oh, yeah,
just
no, I
lucid
have-
dreaming.
Yeah, I
I've,
need
al-
to.
I've always had that shit right next to my job gauges. Like I
yeah,
have all the job gauges, like it's all set up, so there's just like space for like, I think I can have up to like 6 giant buttons right there.
yeah,
Mhm.
Like
exactly.
that fit in nicely and they don't like block anything else.
Yeah, it's it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
God, no one's
But
gonna fake
I think White Mage Scholar is probably going to be what everyone's going to be going for, because to me Astra just seems like you have to pay too much attention to your job gauge and your bar instead of worrying about what's actually going on your screen.
That's the most fun part.
I mean, it is fun, but would you rather spend more time actually looking at what's going on rather than looking at your bars? Because looking at your bars can get you killed in Prog, which is exactly what you don't want to do. You want to
That's why I
minimize
ha-
that.
That's why I have my job gauge positioned where I do. I don't have to look
Yeah.
at the bar. I just look at the bite.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Another reason why I think Dragoon is like pretty good, because it's like the simplest out of all the melees and happens to do like the most raid contribution and like really good personal.
Oh, does it? I haven't looked at Dragoon much.
Dragoon basically does the same damage
what,
as
like,
like just a
after
smidgen under
reviews,
Monk and
uh,
Samurai. And Monk
Okay.
and Samurai are tied. But
Okay.
hopefully, I don't have faith in SE, but if there was faith out there, then they would bump up Samurai, and then Monk becomes irrelevant.
I have faith in them buffing Samurai for the 15th time. So. Because they always do it. They do it every patch.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, that's
So do you-
As we said before.
yeah.
So with those
Okay.
with those melee jobs,
not.
do you think what changes do you want?
Well, we'll get on to that. We'll get
Oh,
on
yeah,
to
yeah.
that in a second. But so me personally, so I'll tell you all the jobs that I've leveled. So Warrior, Gunbreaker, White Mage, Paladin, Black Mage, and I know of Dark Knight pretty much. I think all the tanks are super fun to play. They all do damage in like different ways. They all have different animations, all that sort of stuff. I think Gunbreaker's the most taxing in terms of like its gameplay.
If you're tanking something.
If you're
yes.
tanking something, you're invincible when you're tanking it, but you have a lot of stuff
You
going
have so many buttons to press.
Yeah.
It's like.
imagine
if you get tank busted while you're in your burst phase, you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess
Yeah.
I'm just, like holding this for a bit longer, and then it has to be like
Yeah.
you have to if you have to press the tank buster when you press was it Sonic Break? So you have like you do your like dot and your blasting zone then, right?
yeah,
If
you're
you,
just
that'll like fuck all your you can't press it there. You have to
Yeah,
wait.
you're
Or
SO
you have to press it earlier.
Yeah, you're
Like,
SOL.
and that'll mess all your timings up
Yeah.
if you do it.
Basically,
so,
what you have to do is you have to sacrifice your rough divides. Basically,
you
is
have
what
to
you do. You delay those.
I know
instead.
nothing about Gunbreaker yet.
you have to either well you still get them in the like
Yeah, you can still get them in.
no mercy window. You just might not get them in like
Yeah.
trick if you have a ninja.
So basically, Zendrick, before you lean
not
back
that
in your
tricks don't
chair.
exist anymore, am I right?
Give me a second.
Um,
I don't know anything about Gunbreaker. So
Yeah,
You
so
ready
basically with Gunbreaker is that you have a special combo that comes up every 30 seconds that be triggered by an ammo combo. Every time you use one part of that combo, it adds another off GCD. So I do GCD 1 off GCD
it's
1.
one button. Yeah.
If
GCD,
I hit
one
if I hit GCD 2, off GCD 1 disappears if I don't hit it.
yeah.
So you want to do GCD 1 off GCD 1, GCD 2 off GCD 2, GCD 3 off GCD 3. So that only leaves 3 spots.
You have to press them.
Yeah, that only leaves 3 spots.
It's one button. Like the off GCs are all one button called continuation. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's not as complete.
But if you don't hit them,
Okay.
you lose them. So
Yeah.
So you only have 3 other spots in that, which go to your 2 rough divides, your dashes, and Bloodfest, which is your like get 2 cartridges. But you also have Sonic Break, which makes you can use Bow Shock, which is a like an AoE dot. It's think of Circle of Scorn kind of.
It's Bow Shock.
A Bow Shock. And then you have Blasting Zone, which is just 800 potency, just does a billion damage. But if you mess up those 2 timings specifically, or like any of the like the little timings, you're screwed because those are like strict on like 60 seconds, like perfect.
Yeah, the Bloodfest one is like fine if it's like delayed a bit.
Yeah, Bloodfest is flexible.
But the
a little
other
bit,
ones are just like
they're yeah, you can't.
You're just boned if you. I mean, you still get them in, but they might not end up in the trick. They'll still end up in your buff window.
Yeah, but they won't end up in the trick. Yeah.
They'll slowly like drift away out of your buff window if you.
Yeah, and then once you start desyncing them, it's just like not good. Yeah. I think Warriors pretty good. Warriors pretty good. I'll talk about changes that I want to see to it afterwards, but Dark Knight's I think Dark Knight's a lot of fun. It's very
I like Dark Knight.
Mundane.
I think
outside the burst window, but
I like my.
I think all the
tanks.
tanks like.
Give me a second, I can't.
They're like I don't know. Like Gunbreaker's so much more like
active.
Interesting.
Active. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gunbreaker's pretty.
I don't know. I like being brain
and
dead
it's
when
like
I play Dark Knight.
stricter.
I like being brain dead.
Dude,
yeah,
I don't
if
like
you want to be brain dead, like
play Dark Knight. It's pretty
Dark
brain
Knight, basically, right?
dead. Fucking, they made like
I think
Delirium
Dark
just
Knight's the
gross.
It's probably the most brain dead one.
Dude, I love New Dark Knight. I'm a brain dead kind of guy.
Cause like it's
I think
just like hold
I think
stuff in
Paladin's
burst
brain dead.
way.
Is it? Okay.
I think
I mean,
Paladin's the
they're
easiest.
all like to a degree brain dead, because it's like
Yeah.
well, like once you like even Gunbreaker, it's just a strict rotation.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Gunbreaker's like the machinist or
the button, brewed forever.
Yeah, Gunbreaker's the machinist or the summoner of its type. It has a strict rotation. If you know that rotation down by heart, you can do anything.
Fine.
Yeah,
like,
you're fine.
You'll do even if it desyncs a little bit, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Basically, you just need to memorize. You just need to memorize a
something,
1.5 minute window, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're fine.
No, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's
Whereas
pretty
Warrior is a little bit more complex
Warrior,
because of what you have to do outside of your like inner release windows to manage shit.
Yeah.
Because you have to know trick timings because you want to use at least one Infuriate, not in your like during your inner release stuff.
Yeah, you have to use one outside.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you have to like know
That
that.
I do know. I did the math on that. That was pretty simple.
Okay.
So the tanks are pretty straightforward. We'll go through at the end. We'll go through all like what adjustments we want to see. So then I'll move on to caster. So I play Black Mage. Black Mage, blows shit up. It blows shit up real good. It blows shit up real good. I have no complaints on the job. I think it has the best trait in the game, and I'm
It's
still gonna
so
stick by that.
stupid.
The aspect
so
mastery trait
stupid.
is disgusting. Like being able to
It's
use
so
stuff on 0
dumb.
mana. You just can't. You just don't have to sit there anymore. You could just continually cast.
And Thursday
Yeah.
knows my problem with my Umbral Ice stacks. I'm just like, oh no, it's
Yep.
gonna run out. What do I do?
What do I
As I'm-
do?
As I'm just pressing fucking Umbral Soul.
Spamming
Yeah.
Umbral Soul. Like,
Yep. Yeah.
It's so good. I
I
love
haven't
it.
leveled that yet, but
Xenoglossy?
because I'm doing it in my ult, and my ult's like Black Mage is super far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I will-
Xenoglossy best skill.
Yeah, and
It's
you
like-
can also line up. So after the first window, right? Assuming the fight's pretty static and you're not moving around much, you can actually line up like Despair, Xenoglossy inside of Trick every time, which is
silly.
yeah, it's pretty good. But
I
you
think
Pretty
that's
typically
the word you're looking for. Silly.
yeah you typically want to use Xenoglossy and procs for movement as well.
Yeah.
So if you have to
That's
use
what I
it
usually
outside,
save them
then
for.
it's only if the fight stays pretty
In-
standard.
In-
so.
Innocence is not one of those fights.
No, it's not.
No.
No,
I learned
it is
that.
not.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. But
Awesome.
and then Summoner looks pretty cool. I think its damage is a little bit lower, but than it should be. But
That's like tweakable easily, right?
Yeah, and I feel like Summoner,
play-
the
the play
rotation.
style? Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest difference between like Summoner from Stormblood to this, like the change, is they ingrained into your head as a Summoner before like this came out.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you fucking go into Dreadworm trance,
When you go into
you
Dread-
click Try Disaster.
You click
You
Dread.
must click
Now
it.
it's like now you just
Yeah, don't click it now. And I'm just like,
You just
it's
don't.
muscle memory. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you
It's
call it?
so
The Pavlovian dog thing where it's like, oh, here's a
Yeah,
candy.
yeah, it was like
And
it
you
was like every Dark Knight player going into Stormblood with Dark Passenger.
Yeah. it's
You
like,
just took it
don't
off
do
your
that.
bar after a while. It's just like I don't use this ability. Just get it away from me.
They changed it though, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
excuse me, this is I don't like this.
Yep.
But
I mean,
everything
I
else
leveled-
about
I
Go
leveled
ahead.
it mostly doing Scholar, so
Yeah.
Scholar's brain dead, but yeah.
mostly everything about Summoner is good. It's just a lot of learning how to not play Summoner like you used to.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, and
you're still on a 20-minute route.
And remembering that you get Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you hit
Um,
80, you're just like, oh yeah, fucking Revelation exists.
And also doing that while like it's weird because like Phoenix Trance is also where Phoenix comes out, and you're just like,
Yeah, you're just like,
I
wait,
gotta press that button.
this is
that's
weird.
There.
This is
Yeah.
And having
my world.
and also the having Fester like every so often, I'm just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, more festers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
the
think
fucking
Summoner
penalties.
just needs a little more
There's so
potency
many-
here and there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and-
not a hard fix though.
Yeah.
It's like the rotation itself is like,
There's also just way too many buttons to fucking press on that thing.
Yeah.
Like my hand hurts after playing a
I
fucking
think
fight.
it's more fun than before though.
It's fun, I'll admit. It's
Yeah.
just it's a pain to like. It's everywhere, dude. Because like
Yeah.
for Phoenix Trance, you have to press fucking like so for my bar, and this is probably just my fucking
Yeah, it's
fault.
probably your bars, dude.
It's like no, because it's like I have my AOE's on one side and my
I made sure to make space for that for
my
outbursts.
single target
You have
on
to
the
have
left
space
on the
for
left side.
outbursts. Oh, that's
So now
what
I'm
it
just
is.
like I'm fucking reaching between two fucking
Okay.
sides.
Yeah,
I'm just like
you need outbursts to be close to ruin.
yeah. So
It has to
Yeah.
be. Because if it's not, you're just like, well, there goes my,
I've gotten used to it. So my
hello,
thumb is now.
carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
I already have it. So what
Hello,
I can't-
worst carpal tunnel.
exactly.
And
yeah,
then
no.
we got Red Mage.
New job.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
Red Mage is so fun.
It's pretty
You can run
interesting.
around- you can run around for so long. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because you
I
just,
thought Reprise was a fucking ranged attack.
it is when it's enchanted. It's
Oh,
if you
is it?
do if you do a non-enchanted reprise, it's melee.
And it has to be
You just kinda
enchanted by
chop.
having 10 or more of each mana.
It's 10-10, yeah. But
Oh,
you,
I didn't know that.
you
Huh.
basically never use it. So
Yeah.
literally the way it works, because they added the 5% magic damage to manification and lowered it by 10 seconds, it actually lines up after your before you do your opener, and then that shit would never line up ever because it was just off because you have to use it after Embolden, and because you were using it after Embolden, it would you'd never be able to do your burst properly within Embolden because you'd always have it'd be really awkward to use. But now that it's just have both the buffs up every time, you just hold it for 10 seconds the second time.
Yeah.
Or the third time, because the second time it just lines up after the first opener is always the jank one because you have no black and white mana.
Mm-hmm.
But once you do it once, you're just set because you just do a million damage for the rest of the thing because Scorch is
Yeah,
hilarious.
Scorch looks good.
It's you do your melee combo, which is all instant, so you just have super mobility, and then you do Verflare or Verholy into Scorch into a Swift cast. So you're just running. You can literally run around for 12 seconds ish, 10 to 12 seconds.
And this is
just,
all during your highest potencies too.
Your
Yep.
your burst phase is just you're hyper mobile. It's
Yeah.
hmm.
And I will say, I finally got over the fact that it took away my Verflare and Verholy buttons.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Mhm.
Putting them on the button, once you get used to it, it's super nice.
Yeah, it's just
You
again
have
muscle
more
memory.
space.
Yeah, it's a muscle memory thing.
I mean, it makes sense, and they fixed the bug where when you sync, it fucking
Does it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw this, Jaren, but if you synced,
Yeah,
to,
it gave it to you
things
anyway.
below, I was leveling Red Mage. I hadn't even unlocked the abilities yet.
Yeah, and it was giving
And
it
it
to
was
you.
giving me the button anyways.
Isn't
And I
it
was just
fun?
this is useless. I can't. I wanted to swift cast something, but I just couldn't.
Yeah.
How do I press my
I'm
ability? I
I
haven't unlocked.
just swift cast Jolt, and I'm that's the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
all right, so the casters are we talked about
pretty good at
those.
that.
So now
Yeah, I
let's
like
move
all
on to the melees.
I thought we did them.
Mostly ish.
Yeah.
We didn't really
We
talk
didn't talk about Ninja though.
Yeah, didn't
Okay.
talk about Ninja.
For good reason.
Actually, we could just talk about it when we get
It's gonna get reworked, you know.
We can talk about it when we get to the adjustments.
That's the
really.
major change.
Yeah.
Ninja's
The
a new
range.
job.
The range, they're pretty solid. I just think machinists will probably get a little bit more.
Machines will get potency buffs.
Yeah.
But the playstyle itself is fine.
Yeah, they're fine across the board. And then we got the healers, which turns out White Mage is it's pretty good. You know.
It became what it must.
I honestly feel like that skill is goddamn bugged, but apparently it's not.
Which one's that?
Misery.
You know what
It feels like it's bugged, but it's just not.
I was actually making a joke.
It has a lower potency than Inner Chaos.
Yeah, I was making.
It does more.
I was making a joke with Brian, and I said, imagine if they there's just a hot fix, right? Or they go to do the massive changes, right? And you go in the patch notes and you're looking, you're scrolling down, and then you go to you see warrior, and then you scroll past it and you don't see anything there. There's no battle changes for White Mage, and you type on your key Control F, you search for White Mage, nothing comes up.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this weird. So you search for White Mage abilities, and you come across Misery, and you see down in the bug fixes. What does that say? A known issue where Flatus Misery was doing less damage than intended.
Yeah.
And it just does more.
Yeah. I mean, I could believe that up until the last bit, the part where it says the no changes for White Mage. That's possible.
Yeah.
They can just buff literally everything else and just make the raid numbers different, right?
Yeah, I think we can actually. I'm just gonna change the topic here, but we can actually start with the healers for things we want to see. So, I think Astro is a bit too clunky in my opinion. I think sleeve draw and redraw are just complete ass.
I fucking love it.
I don't think it's very good.
For raid though?
Yes.
I think it's too much.
No.
Can you center that, Jaren?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
It gives you something to do, dude. Healing's boring. DPSing as a healer is boring now, honestly.
Just because it just happens.
It's just press button, press one button over and over again, right?
Yeah.
So having something to do that's like interesting is good. Because before it was just like, oh, I got a balance, we're good, haha. I just hold this for a little bit and then we press it when we get burst. But now it's like you can actually like plan things.
Yeah, but I just
sure,
feel like
you don't plan things in like the super burst window. You're literally John Maddening, but that's fun.
I just feel like when you're, when you have to worry about cards, you're cutting your GCDs when you could be spamming more, just Malefics.
Oh, don't do that. That's not what you do. You do GCD button, GCD button, GCD button always, because you have time, because you have Malefic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or if you're light speeding, you can do two things in between every.
Yeah, but you gotta be quick.
You have to use your brain. Yes, it's difficult. I know. That's good though. Having difficulty is good. I think the problem with Astro is like the other jobs don't have to use GCDs, or if they do, it's White Mage, and they get like a free refund damage GCD for doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
like Astro's off GCDs are decent, right? But I feel like their best healing, like for dungeons, for example, their best healing tool is Sinistry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sinistry doesn't synergize with anything other than just benefiting people over and over again.
Is it any healing
It's GCD cast, like it doesn't even work on aspect benefit. I'm pretty sure
so it's not even it's not healing actions.
It's not healing. If it was off GCDs, Astro would be like it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like they might have to lower the cooldown of thingy a bit, but of Sinistry, but
yeah,
like it's honestly it would be fine because neutral sect is ridiculous.
yeah, it's pretty
Like
strong.
neutral sect is.
I just think Astro's damage is crap.
The other thing, oh yeah, that's an easy fix. Like fixing damage is not hard.
Yeah.
Like fixing the fact that you have to use GCDs over another job is the hard part.
I think if they were gonna do like a wholesale change, and I'll get on to one example when we get to tanks, but if you're gonna do like a complete change for like a GCD as an example, or change the way the job functions, where there's like a combo or anything like that, I think they should have done that after 2 weeks, so that we could get used to it. Because if they do something that,
no, they're going to. I think they needed more.
I mean,
time
if they do, it's I personally think it's a bad idea. They should have done it after 2 weeks because they had enough data to do it.
I don't think they had the time to. I think they're doing something actually new, maybe. So maybe they didn't have the time to.
Maybe.
Because they're gonna do it for, like Ninja as well. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do something on Ninja. Yeah. For sure, it's just gonna be a different job. You ready? Weird. I might level it if it's a different job because I don't want to level this Ninja. But yeah, for Astro, I think for dungeons, all they had to do to fix it in dungeons is just literally just give the stun back to Celestial Up and make it 1 minute.
Yeah, I think Celestial Up's cooldown's too long.
Weaker if you want.
Yeah, I think its cooldown's too long. It's way too long.
It being 2 minutes is a bit long. Like either lower Sinistry or, but definitely the stun on Celestial Up. Like there's no difference between having a stun and not having a stun. Like it only helps dungeons, so just put it there.
Exactly.
And then what was the other thing? That was something else. Oh right, horoscope. If horoscope could proc off like, if you make Celestial Op like a minute and make it like proc off of Helios, aspect of Helios, or Celestial Op.
So just like healing actions in general.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Like your own healing actions. Yeah, that would make sense.
Then you'd have like an indom, like currently Indom and like Fey Blessing and all the Scholar stuff is just so ridiculous that you never have to cast a goddamn GCD in your whole
Well,
life.
we can actually move on to Scholar because literally what they need to do, like I think this is a change they have to make. They have to make an ability that does damage that has to consume an Aetherflow stack.
I think they're
Because
gonna go a different way with that though. But yeah.
I think because the problem is now every time Scholar gets an Aetherflow stack, they have a choice between 3 abilities, all of which are completely batshit stupid, and they're all free.
I think what they need to do
Like,
is they need to increase the cost of the AoE heal, like the Fey, was it Fey Blessing? Yeah. The Fairy AoE heal gauge thing, spender, and then you could there's a couple options. Like you could do that, and you could have a skill that like converts your stack into just gauge, right?
mm-hmm.
Then you could have more use for the gauge, right? Other than just you could just beam people with it too, right? Obviously, but
Yeah.
that would be a use. That wouldn't be a DPS use, but it would be a use, right? Or I feel like what they're gonna do is they're just gonna change Aetherflow to be something completely different again. Like, you're still gonna get the Aetherflow stacks, but I think maybe they'll give you like some kind of Scholar energy drain thing where like every X amount of time you just do a damage move, and it gives you a stack kind of
Wait,
thing.
does Scholar Aetherflow give mana as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
still good, man.
Yep, it gives 10% mana, so 1k, right? And then it gives you 3 stacks of Aetherflow. I think they're gonna
3 stacks.
they're gonna do one of those things.
I think literally all they have to do is just give it like energy drain / energy siphon, make them cost an Aetherflow each, and literally that changes everything. So now a
Yeah, but they
Scholar can
don't
be
want.
like, I
See,
can
they
do
don't
damage.
want that though. That's the thing.
They want to differentiate
They
the job.
want it for something else. So if they're gonna want it, if they're gonna keep with that idea, they do something like what I'm saying, right? They'd like have it so you can just convert it into gauge or like whatever, right? Into
Yeah,
fairy gauge.
but see, the problem is it doesn't matter what defensive thing you give it; it's still going to be defensive.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have even more options to not ever use a GCD.
Yeah. I know.
That's stupid.
They can nerf the numbers on the pet stuff.
Yeah, they could.
And just do that, and it would be fine. But I mean, they already nerfed the pet stuff before, but now Seraph exists, so
And Seraph's dumb.
Seraph doesn't use any gauge, and it does some ridiculous shit. So I don't know what the hell the deal with Seraph is.
It's a bit
Like,
good.
It's insane. Like it's every embrace that Seraph does is just a tick of the fairy beam.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but why?
Yeah.
This thing is free every 2 minutes. And it also does like the ridiculous consolation thing on top of it. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, it does.
It's just insane.
And then we got White Mage, which
I haven't leveled yet, but I leveled the other 2.
I have leveled it. It's
Okay.
really
Does
good.
it,
I
what are the
think
changes?
I
It's-
think the only change that would make sense, because currently 3 glares equal a misery. So if you nerf glare's potency, then it becomes obviously a damage loss to do GCD healing. So what they could do is just take Dia's the potency, the on-hit potency, the 120. They could remove it completely if they wanted to, or they could just lower it by X amount, or they could lower the actual dot potency, like the total dot potency, and keep the on-hit, so that it's like, it's still good. It still does a lot of damage, but it's less. But apart from that, I don't think. Oh, never mind. Presence of Mind needs to be 2 minutes. It needs. Why is it on a 2.5 minute
Make
CD?
it 3 minutes.
Just make it.
something.
Just make it
Make
something
it
that
3
isn't
minutes.
2.5.
It doesn't need to be 2 minutes. Make it 3 minutes. I'd rather have it at 3 minutes than 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5 is stupid. It's a
Yeah,
dumb number.
It just doesn't make sense.
I don't think they need to lower glare though. I think glare's fine. I think just they could just They just need something else. I don't know. I don't know what.
They just need to
exactly. I
have
don't-
to heal.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm sure that there's ways they can do that, but not in the current content we have available, even normal mode.
There's just gonna be Whirlwind every boss.
Yes.
Just run out of. You just
Just
can't
give me
cast
give
GCDs because
me
you're out of mana.
just give me Alma guess every fight.
I guess.
Every GCD.
Jesus.
So for the ranged, it's pretty simple. Just machinist potencies just need to go up to whereas it's the third
Yeah.
highest DPS.
Yeah.
I would think, because you want black mage first, you want samurai a little bit behind that, and then you want machinist
I could see it.
a little bit behind that.
Yeah, I don't know if it has to be like third, but like at least tied third.
I think it needs to be third
'Cause
because
it-
it
'cause
has
ranged-
nothing. Because ranged has like ranged copy everything from each other.
Yeah, but ranged have advantages of like over like the other jobs. Like
Constant,
they have to be.
yeah, they have constant uptime. They have constant
Yeah,
uptime.
they have constant uptime, and they have they can do every mechanic without losing the uptime.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So like they have loads of advantage. So they can't be like too strong, right? Otherwise, you just bring 2 of those every time.
But I think
No matter what.
machinist should be higher than everything
yes,
but
it
black
should be higher
mage.
than what it is currently.
Yeah, it should. I think it should be higher than everything that is, that has no raid utility. So, black mage and samurai should be higher than it, and then I think it should be on the power level of what monk probably should be, and I think summoner should be just in behind those. I don't know why dragoon is as high as it is. I don't, and they buffed it. They just let's just increase this and
They didn't buff it. They like fixed the thing basically because
Yeah, but
like the timing thing.
why
was
does Dragoon
jank.
do so much damage? Its raid buffs
'Cause,
are still dumb.
Well, that one change that's not gonna change anything.
No,
That's just gonna be. It's just gonna be. It's like it keeps it in line with all the other buffs in the game, right?
Yeah.
It's just for like simplicity.
Yeah.
Of understanding when you're learning something, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
But yeah, machinist should do more damage. That's pretty straightforward. Don't think they really need to do anything with Bard and Dancer. They're pretty good on their own.
Yep.
Let's go to the melees. So Samurai definitely needs more damage for sure because Samurai has no gap between itself and Monk, which it should.
I mean, sure.
It should.
Yeah.
Because if it's doing the same damage as Monk, and Monk brings Brotherhood and Mantra, like,
yep,
then you just bring Monk, right? Surely.
And Monk attacks faster too, I believe, for like synergies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then you have Dragoon, which is just completely stupid, and they'll probably just buff it again for no reason. And then you have.
I don't know about that. That buff wasn't a buff. That was like quality of life thing. That's
Who
not
knows?
a real
They'll just
buff.
be like, yeah, Stardiver just doesn't do enough damage. We'll buff it some more.
Yeah, dude. I thought there was some like clipping stuff with Stardiver, but other than that, like it's a dive, so it's to be expected, right?
Yeah. And then you got Monk, which is apparently shitty to play, but does a good bit of damage.
I'm
so
fucking loving it. So I don't know. Those guys can suck a dick.
Which ones?
Monk.
Fucking Nolan.
Fuck Nolan.
Exactly.
He's the fucking healer that killed me all the time.
Oh, was it Nolan? That's who you were
It
alluding
was
to before?
Yes.
Oh,
The
lol.
motherfucker.
He is definitely a Y mage, not a white mage.
Yes.
Yeah, that was what I kept asking.
He's a true green DPS.
Yeah. And then we got excuse me. Ninja. We got Ninja.
Yeah.
I think they
I've
need to buff
looked at-
potencies on Ninja because it sucks.
I've looked at Ninja. I can almost, dude. They're changing that job. Like that's the major change. Is I feel like they're gonna just rework Trick Attack into like a personal buff,
You think?
like something completely different. Yeah. Cause like
We don't say those kind of things about Trick Attack.
if
We
Ninja-
like Trick Attack.
if Ninja is too good, if Ninja's good at all, it's an instant include because of Trick Attack. That is a problem.
Yeah.
So the way to fix that is to just make it like a personal buff, and then, or maybe like it's not as good for the party, but better for the ninja kind of buff. Like Embolden,
You
know,
can make it. You
Embolden,
can make
like
it.
that.
You can make it 10% for the ninja, 5% for the party.
You can make it higher than 10% for the ninja. You can make it like 20% for the ninja.
That would
5%.
fix its potency problems because most of its burst is in that anyway.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
that makes sense. That makes
Like
sense.
that's a simple change, right? I mean, they have to find out how to code that on a debuff, but maybe just
Yeah.
make 2 debuffs and one that you have to have like Huton on to benefit
Yeah,
from.
you
or
get the
something.
party. The party gives the party gets the buff or the
Yeah, whatever.
gets
it
the
is.
buff trick attack, and the ninja
Get
debuffs
sneak attack.
debuffs the boss with sneak attack.
Exactly.
Yeah, duh.
Or maybe like maybe it's like trick attack is still trick attack on the boss, but the ninja gets a buff sneak attack
Which
on
amplifies
them,
trick
and that would
attacks
amplify their trick attacks. Yeah, see something
for
like
themselves.
that, you know?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, yeah.
complicated,
Yeah, we do it like
but
this.
it would fix the damage problem while also not making ninja broken in a raid scenario.
I mean, it will be.
It would be still
Because all
obviously.
ninja needs is slight potency buffs, and they're auto include again. So
Yeah, that currently, yes.
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. They have to make it so it's not just like so broken.
Yeah.
Because
Alright.
it's like a multiplicative synergy.
Yeah.
It's just more damage that the boss takes. So if you have other buffs, like that just buffs the ones that buff you will just get multiplied by that. So it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. So far we got some Astro stuff, maybe a small white mage nerf, but probably not. Potentially some scholar changes are needed. More damage to
Oh, yeah.
summoner and
Astro also needs a way to another damage off GCD thing of some
yeah,
like the way that they're like I don't know if they're gonna do it to Scholar they should do it
they
with
have to do it
Astro.
to Astro too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
They need a way to like it doesn't have to be like a way to use your like job stuff to do damage because White Mage has that and the other healers don't. So like if they could have like I don't know the fairy could attack for Scholar.
Yeah. Or they could just again give him the energy drain / energy siphon
then you
type
can have
thing.
another use for fairy gauge. Maybe that would be you have like a thing to convert your stacks into fairy gauge, and then you have like a fairy attack that uses gauge.
Yeah, that would work.
That might work.
And then Astro could be like
you just the Lord again.
yeah,
but like something else.
it's
it doesn't
like
have
the
to
Lord
be specifically that, but like something like that.
it could be something like if you use the Lord on somebody, you get like a personal DPS increase or something. I don't know.
So it's something.
Anyway, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then for machinist and summoner probably more damage.
Yep.
On those two.
I would like to see something. I don't know. The pets, the actions like you. Just
I think the pet potencies needs to go. If they literally just bump up the pet potencies on Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda, like that's all you need.
Even that or like potency buff on like. I feel like Akmorn and Revelation, like for what they do. It doesn't feel like I'm doing a lot. Like when I press that button, it's like you feel like you're supposed to feel like a god, right? Like fucking just, and I just see like my fucking whatever I'm forgetting what the skill's called. I'm doing more damage than Phoenix. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, you're like you're Death Flare or whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
You're like,
am I more powerful than Bahamut now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You've ascended.
I've ascended.
Yes.
So yeah, and then I will say one major change I want for Summoner that they promised for fucking forever ago. Eggy glamours. I need
eggy glamours. More eggy glamours. Like we
only had.
We got carbuncles.
What do you mean? Those been in the game already. I'm not.
We got the
counting
red
those fucking
boy.
things. Not counting those fucking assholes. Those
we
don't
got
count.
the red boy, recolor boy.
Dude, just give me actual again. We already have fucking Rama and fucking Sephiroth.
Kappa.
Yeah, Belias. Fuck it. Give me a purple Ifrit. I'll take that. I'll take that.
But bigger.
Yeah, I'll take it, dude. I'll fucking take it. Just something different, man. I'm tired of seeing Ifrit. I'm tired of seeing the carbuncles. I need something different, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chat mentioned they should give white mages mini damage miseries for 1 lily each, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
can
Maybe
work
have it
towards
scale
a
up.
big
Yeah, yeah.
lily.
I mean, I don't know what. Oh, you mean like that kind of lily
Yeah,
one?
as in
I
like
don't
a mini
want
each mini
that.
lily is not only just a heal, but you can use it as a damage, like a small,
I
like a
was gonna
bigger.
say you could press misery at 1, but it would consume the 1 and do less damage, kind of thing. But
Yeah,
you pitch perfect.
yeah. I mean that's a
You know.
possibility. And
That
then
way, if
we,
the thing's gonna leave and you need to do DPS check and you don't have time to use the thing, you can just
yeah,
press it, right?
and then we
More
got
flexible.
we got red mage. I think they should probably lower some of their mana a little bit, just a little bit.
What do you mean, like mana costs?
Yeah, their mana, like just a
Um,
couple of their mana costs, probably slightly
it's
lower.
not. Again, with manification, if as long as you're pressing that button, it's not that bad.
Oh yeah, a knot man. We have to discuss a knot.
Yeah,
Not
so
bad.
we're on to the melee. So yeah, a knot man. So you want to make it instant tick?
I haven't got it yet,
Wait,
but
which job are we talking about?
it's
Monk. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I just got Grease Lightning 4, right? So I'm almost there. But having seen a knot man things, it's like you have to do the tick. So people are like, the way to counteract it being like a silly ability, they're just getting like the trigonometry thing to just have the GCD tick just constantly going on their screen, so they know
Yeah.
when to press a knot man. Or when to cancel a knot man, I should say, right?
Yeah.
Because you press it as soon as you do the auto and your GCD, but then you have to like know when to cancel it without just looking at the stack, because that would
Yeah.
be really annoying. But basically, they can't make it insta tick like the other things, because that would just be, because if you make it insta tick and then you also see the tick, you'll just get 2 stacks and it'll be even stupider.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna do. I guess people just have to get good and learn how to use a knot man, with the tick, and just have the tick overlay forever. People thought this was gonna be a problem on like Samurai before, and it just wasn't.
What they could
Because
do
it
is they
turned
could
out
just
10
they
Kenki
could
isn't
just
worth the whole
change
Breeze Lightning stack.
they could just change a knot man
There is a way to do it, yeah.
to just like I mean,
It's
they could put
weird.
it. They could put a knot man on like a charge system, and using it gives you a grease lightning stack.
That would be even stupider. Because then you
But
just press on the button.
it'd be a lot more like interactive instead of like, oh, I gotta
Consistent.
wait for a server tick.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be able to like hold it in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a whole kettle of fish
had
that I don't think they
an
want to
idea
open.
that I just don't remember right now. But I had a good idea for it, but I forget what it was. What was it? Maybe if I hit things more, I'll remember.
While you're thinking of that, Samurai definitely needs potency buffs. Dragoon's probably gonna get buffed, but
Samurai's
it's
easy
fine.
though, because you can just up the stupid damage trade to like 15 from 13. You're like fine, because literally upping it from by 3% just made their damage ridiculous. So just make it another 2%. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
exactly.
That's like the easiest fix in the book, because the rotation's fine.
Yeah, you can upgrade. You can upgrade the Jinpu buff, or you can upgrade like something that they use often. So like combo finishers, Shin 10.
They've done combo finishers to death on Samurai, so please just up the trade.
Yeah, if you just that's the easiest way to fix it.
Oh hey, I've finished the Raktika Greatwoods apparently.
So
yeah,
and then Ninja obviously, you know, potency buffs somewhere, but it's probably gonna be some.
Probably gonna be some trick attack jankiness.
Yeah, most likely.
With sneak attack stuff, I hope.
Yeah, because Ninja's pretty big brain at the moment in terms of when and when not to use certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe Shadowfang will go back to a 3-part combo. I don't know.
No, dude. I don't think so.
And then the tanks. So, that thing that I was talking about before where I said they won't do wholesale changes. to something towards it will completely change the job because they should have done it after the first 2 weeks. So one thing that people were saying is that on Warrior, they want to remove Storm's Eye. So that you just have Path.
That's what Xeno was saying.
This is what Xeno was saying.
I don't know.
What I think they might do is up Storm's Eye to 40 seconds as a temporary fix for when they do potentially remove it.
I think
because I mean, Warrior and Dark Knight are almost the same thing anyway.
Thing is, like, you have to. The way it's set up is like you have when you do the eye, you're getting your damage buff, but you're generating less wrath, right?
Yeah.
So if they don't have that and they just have a like, if they remove it, what the hell? You're just gonna generate like just more wrath. You're just gonna do even more damage. It's just gonna be like
correct.
No brain at all, right?
I mean, it's Warrior.
No.
It'll just go back to Heaven's Ward Warrior. Except, well, in Heaven's Ward you had Butcher's Block, but like most times when you're off tanking, you just eyed for the most part. But
yeah.
But
that's because you had Maim.
Yeah. I just think that Warrior and Dark Knight need potency buffs. For damage because they're still a little bit behind Paladin, which should be last because of the amount of utility it has. I think Gunbreaker's fine. Like, people have been saying they should lower its damage a little bit. I think it's fine because it has to move.
They don't need to lower it.
Yeah, I think it's fine because the amount of work you put in is actually warranting of that damage it does.
They need to do something with the other ones more than they need to do Gunbreakers.
Warrior's pretty easy. Literally, if you take Fell Cleave and up it to like 600, 610, 620, that's multiplicative because most of them direct crit anyway.
Like,
so
I think for once the two new jobs are the most like complete on launch. Because last time the two new jobs were like Samurai did like nothing.
Yeah, Samurai was a dude.
Red Mage did.
Red Mage was like okay.
And we fell off a lot.
It fell off a lot. Well, yeah, in more ways than.
Well, now you have a new ability that's a DPS loss.
Yeah, but you've used it actually quite a bit in those fights because you have to use if you're not pressing that button because it's such a short cooldown. Like, if you're not pressing one of those two, you're losing damage. So
yeah.
Unless you have a reset coming up. If you have the reset coming up, you can just hold it forever. Like,
yeah. Chat's mentioning that they would be barely surprised if any tank changes were made at all. Maybe some minor potency, but nothing too like drastic. Which would make sense. I expect if they're gonna do anything crazy, they'll do it on the odd patch.
I think if people are complaining about the like Storm's Eye thing, I think they would just rather just put it back on like Maim and give Storm's Eye something else. I don't know what the hell they do with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, this thing's already.
I don't know.
Wait, where do I need to go next?
But okay, and then for Dark Knight, I think one quick fix that they should do is Blackest Night should be 9 seconds long because bosses don't actually auto you enough to break it. Or just lower the shield to 20% because I think 25% is ridiculous.
I don't think it needs to be 25%.
But my thing was that I it's the only ability, to my recollection, that's a defensive ability that's tied to your optimal DPS, which I think is shit. Because if you can't break it ever, then you're doing less damage. Period.
I mean, that's why they got rid of. I mean, you can always break it on something, but like.
Imagine if there's a boss that only busters once every 2 minutes.
Yeah, you put it on an AoE for someone else.
It's a big shield.
Yeah, I know. There's big. You saw that Eden AoE? That thing does darkness damage. It just cuts right through it. I'm pretty sure that's actually darkness damage because it just cuts your health in half for the most part, or like 70% or whatever it is. Yeah. The one before it leaves.
Yeah, AoE plus auto would probably break it, but
those AoEs are massive.
Another change I would like to see them make is Dark Mind sucks ass. So can we make it useful? Like,
I was gonna, as I said before,
Just
like
10% physical on it or something.
if they want to keep it as a magic cooldown, right? They could just make it similar to not exact like camouflage, but for magic. So it has 10% all damage, and then 10% magic. You know, camouflage is better because there's a lot more physical things. But if they want to keep it magic, that's what you do, right? That way you can still use it on something.
Yeah.
If no magic.
So you have a lower percentage for physical, basically, and a higher percentage for magic, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And then lastly, the one cooldown that no one ever wants to use is Living Dead. Now, the reason people don't so there's some people like, well, Living Dead's fine, you just Benny it. Well, the problem is, is that our HP pool has gotten higher, and our healing hasn't got as adjusted yet. It will in the next tier and the following tier because of crit. But you have to I think it was worked out with Nature's Menae on a Dark Knight. They need to have both essentials, illustrate, and a recitation to Excog to heal him to full if they drop to 1.
Something like
that's a black hole for resources.
Yeah.
But don't worry, you could just use Benny. Just use Benny.
Oh, you don't have Benny? Oh, just use one stupid put your wings out, put up all the other stuff and just do your lilies, dude. It's useful now. You get your damage back. Kappa.
I mean,
yeah, no.
But I was thinking of some things where it was because it needs to be, excuse me, it needs to be a proper invuln. So I was thinking something along the lines of let's say it's a 6-second invulnerability, you're completely invuln, but it drops you to 1, and then after the duration is finished, it gives you 25% of your max HP back. Or you can do something it cuts your max HP in half, right? So so let's say your max HP is 100k, right? And then you drop down to 50k, and you cannot go higher than 50k. And you're invincible for, let's say, 6 seconds, as an example. And then afterwards, your max HP returns, but you have to regen from 50k back up. So it's kind of like swapping to Defiance.
Is the whole you die still part of it, or?
No. It would be just a completely different ability, because the whole dying, that whole part of the ability is just complete crap.
Yeah.
So. But
I don't know. I feel like that would take the, I feel like
the living, the dying part still needs to be a part of it.
It needs to be part of it. It's the character of the skill, you know.
But
the dying part is you have to actually be living dead.
Yeah, and I understand the fact that it's hard to fucking get to 100%.
Yeah, but
it should be I feel 50 or something like that.
If say
50% would be.
If say it also just increased the healing you received.
I also had that down as well. Any healing received is increased by 50% or 100%, whatever it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or maybe
that
even
might be
just the fact
double
of
too much, but you know.
No. What maybe it's healing is increased. So you still die, but healing is increased until 75%, and then it drops off.
And something like that.
So it's not
you can make it so you get you get healed a lot more until you hit near the top.
And then it's okay, now.
But that, because you can remember, you're still taking damage, right, the whole time usually, and you don't have to get to 100%. You just have to be healed for 100% of your health.
Yeah.
So that way, staying at mid health would be more optimal.
Mhm.
Which is what happens usually, anyways, unless you're Bennying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Benny.
Just Benny.
I mean,
what's the cooldown on Benny? Ever yet?
3 minutes.
Ooh.
Living Dead's 5. So.
Yeah, Living Dead's 5.
Just Benny it.
Honestly, you could make Living Dead 4 minutes. You could probably make Living Dead 3 minutes, and it's still shit.
Yeah.
It's still shit.
It is shit.
If you make it 3 minutes, you have to bring a white meat.
Yeah. Yeah, in that case,
And
then it's
guess what? Just
Then-
Benny it.
yeah.
then
Then literally, it's like okay,
actually
Benny
just
is up.
Benny it.
It's like literally
Dark-
Benny
Benny is up, and
is
Benny's used on, for this on cooldown. Like
Yeah,
Yeah. Living Dead is also
that's
up.
fine,
yeah.
but that's also bad design because then you're,
Then you're forced to
you're stuck to have, if you have a dark knight, you have to have a white mage.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, I feel like they gotta change that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably not.
Probably.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
I have no faith in SCE.
If anything, they
No, I
do the
don't.
heal. That's like the thing that I think they.
No,
might
I have no faith in them.
but
in this
I don't
case.
think they will.
Yeah, I
I'm
have
just
zero
curious.
faith in
I'm
them.
just curious to know what the bad part of the balance team is going to do. Because we know Ninja's gonna be great.
I feel like they're gonna.
Warrior's
fuck up
gonna be
Black Mage
great.
somehow. They're gonna just like, oh yeah, the 0 mana thing. No more. Just take it
Wow.
away from.
Just remove her from Black Mage.
Dude, I'm gonna be so upset if that happens.
Nah, I don't think they'll touch Black Mage. Yoshi P's like, you're setting it this way, and it's never good. It's
And
my
that's
turn.
my
Yeah, no,
job.
it's
It's my
literally
turn.
the way it's designed is Yoshi P gets his way with Black Mage. He's like, it does 1 billion damage more than everything else. And then the fight design team is like, okay, well here you go,
Asshole.
fights where you just get
Don't
fucked.
get to do
Like,
anything.
You
Good
just
luck.
don't get to cast ever.
Yeah,
And Yoshi P's like, fine.
fine. I'll just make triple cast. We'll just
Yeah.
make
But,
ley lines better and do all these things or whatever. It's like, okay. You
Yeah.
do you, Yoshi. Yeah.
Next expansion, ley lines just become the ley lines.
Theoretical savage.
just it follows you around. Anyone who goes in it, you increase their spell speed and skill speed.
No. Well, I mean, okay, sure. You have to be in melee range of the boss, though.
That's fine. Guess what? My ley lines follow me, so
Oh god.
there you go. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
Just do that.
No.
All right, I thought we'd finish off here with a thing that's actually originated from Xena's podcast on Chain called "What's the Word." So basically, I'm gonna say a sentence, and it's gonna be a blank in it somewhere, and you have to fill that in with a word. Right?
Okay.
So, like as an example, if I say, "Warrior is a blank job," you could say, "Warrior is a crap job." As like the
Wow.
you know whatever.
That's so
right?
toxic.
So.
Okay.
First
Yeah.
sentence is the content in Shadowbringers expansion for Final Fantasy XIV is blank.
Thirsty?
Just one word.
It's one word.
Oh, one words. Okay.
Oh. Okay. It's lore-tastic.
Lore-tastic.
Yeah.
And why do you say that?
Dude, this is like they okay. I don't want to say too much about the role quest, but that role quest is nuts.
Which one?
Nuts.
The
The one
final
after you
Once
do one of
once
all
you-
the
like all the
Oh.
role quests
Oh
combined.
fuck! That means I have to level up a healer.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
you have. What do you mean? You have a summoner.
Oh, you know, I have to actually play
You have to
scholar.
do the role. You have to play scholar.
Oh, God.
Sure, that's not hard. But yeah, no. Like once you do all of the okay, some of the role quests were like whatever. But
Yes, the Black Mage one or the caster one was pretty.
the caster one was good.
That was whatever.
But yeah, like I think that quest at the end was just like, wow.
Do you
this
know,
ties a lot-
Jaren?
This ties a lot together.
What happened?
Okay. Do you know about the final role quest?
I don't.
I don't. That's why I
Yeah.
was just wondering.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something I
Get
have
on
paid a little bit of attention
Get on
to.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Get
All right.
on it.
All right, Zendrick. So, Shadowbringers content is blank.
Can I use A? Because it's like. it
Yeah,
just
sure.
says,
Why not?
Sure.
an orgasm,
Wow.
Of course.
dude.
But
It's
you
so
just said
good,
orgasmic.
I'm not
Orgasm.
even gonna ask you to explain that, but
dude. No, it's just like every cutscene was just like, holy shit. I am erupting right now. Except when Tesline. That was a boner killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tesline's death was
Wow.
definitely a boner killer, but I was like, man, I hope I get to romance her.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
also fucking make that a thing. See, you fucking
Oh,
2013.
actual dating sim.
Yeah, I need to fucking
See,
steal your
that's
store.
next, dude. That's next.
Fucking that stupid Hrothgar fuck is trying to get on my Stola, and I don't need that to happen. He's fucking
Oh,
thirsty as shit, and she's
you
mine.
shit talking my boy Runar.
Get the fuck out of here! You can die. I'll fucking murder him. I hope that's the next fucking quest I get to do with the Warrior of Darkness. Fucking kill Runar. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Go ahead. What's the next sentence?
All right. So the next sentence is the turning point for Shadowbringers for me is blank. So it doesn't have to be story. It could have been like oh shit, this is getting like, this is cool. Whether it be like a zone or like a piece of music, or it could be part of the story. It could have been a dungeon. It could have been an instance.
Cedric, you go first.
So the turning point for my Shadowbringers experience is blank.
I'll just do a little lie.
Lahi.
So when you went into the Raktika Greatwood.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's all for him. Just Lahi.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
me.
Apparently,
That's all he
apparently
had
it's
to do?
apparently it's just Lahi.
Okay,
It's
sure.
hilarious. Fuck.
Sure. I mean, trying to think.
Did I steal yours, Tifty?
Turning point.
I'll say my turning point was the instance that you do where you become Indiana Jones.
That's one out of one word.
No, the ninja.
Come on,
Yeah.
one word.
Yeah, what's the word?
Well, you could say like obviously this is not really a word, but my turning point for Shadowbringers, in my opinion, was becoming Indiana Jones, basically.
The Tempest, dude.
Oh yeah.
The Tempest.
Tempest.
Just the whole
Oh yeah.
getting to the zone.
Oh yeah.
Every part of the zone, like the music in the, it's just the whole package. Like
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
just everything in that zone is insane.
that's good. That's a good
Yeah.
pick.
All right. I think I have two more.
Okay.
So the penultimate one is the job change I would like to see the most is blank. You can be a little bit more detailed on this, obviously. So you can say like a skill name and then obviously elaborate afterwards or something. So the job change I would like to see the most is blank.
Energy drain.
Energy drain for...
Again, the naming like is just like I feel like it should just drain something more than just like getting Aetherflow stacks. Like just some mana, so I don't have to fucking rely on that other
Oh,
stupid
yeah.
skill.
Yeah, okay, so you like mana on energy drain / energy siphon.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like it's just again that reduces one button that I don't need to press anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's not job specific, but I'm gonna say limit break. Please. Why are we locked for like fucking 4 seconds after limit breaking
Yeah.
on any LB?
Just
Yeah.
being
You
just...
you can auto attack, so I know they can make it so we do.
Yeah.
So please,
Yeah.
let me use a GCD immediately after LBing. Like,
Nah, it's
sure,
crazy
like
talk.
have a little bit, but it's after you finish the full animation and you're just sitting there waiting to press the button because it just doesn't work. That's what I want to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that's fine.
Having the full animation is fine.
Yeah.
Having like the full animation plus AFKing for a couple seconds is not fine.
Mine would also be
Pretty sure you can.
energy
Replace
drain,
it
but
with
except for as an ability for Scholar to use as an Aetherflow stack for damage. But that's just me.
Yeah.
And then the last one would be the job that I never want to see again in this expansion, as in you want them to nerf it or you want it to like basically not exist because it's existed around for a long time. So the job that I don't want to see ever again played is blank.
Ninja.
You just want it gone?
as in like you that job can just piss off. Like we don't you like.
Yep. Yep.
I'm trying to think about
Just make
this
ninja.
now.
Just make ninja like monk level of utility. I don't want to see it fucking be as absurd as it is right now. It's like too stupid. It's like if it's remotely usable, it's like, well, have fun with your fucking 200 ping playing ninja,
Mhm.
just doing Raiton every time. Now it's even worse. Have to use fucking Raiton every time.
Yeah.
You can't even Fuma anymore.
And well you could Fuma, or you could, well, you think you could Fuma,
And
but
do
you have
no
to use
damage.
right to. Yeah, and then you're like, oh, but I can Kasatsu Fuma. Nope. You got to use the
You
Ice
have to-
Shuriken.
You have to Hyoton. You have
Yeah.
to use Hake Mujin Satsu. No, that's the other one.
No, you have
What's
to
it called?
Hyohan Ryu or
Ninja.
whatever it's called.
Hake Mujin
Oh,
Satsu is the
fucking
AoE.
hell.
Yeah,
I'll
I don't
fucking
know.
look at it. It's Hyosho Ranryu.
You're Ran Ryu, yeah, that's the one. It's the ice
Ranryu.
shurikens.
It's Ice Shuriken.
Where they're like
whatever. Yeah, Ranryu. Yeah, Hake Mujin Satsu is the AoE. I always forget.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, Zendrick. So what
Also
job do you want to just? It just couldn't be arsed. Just send it into the next expansion where it can get reworked to something that's not, not.
I'm gonna have to agree with Ninja. I don't know a lot about it, but it just like the idea of Ninja just pisses me off. I don't want to touch it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's like it's a job like that. I've been delayed. Like hell, like even Monk I've touched a little bit, but Ninja is something like I'm not touching this.
Yeah.
Until it gets a good rework.
Change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it might, look, if they change it completely, I might be okay with it,
Yeah.
They
Exactly.
just make
Mine-
the trick not stupid and, it do more damage for itself and, like, maybe the Mudras aren't as aids still.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do that, but...
Mhm.
Mine
They made the whole kit around
is-
Mudras, but yeah, you go.
Astrologian, because I think the card system is just an amalgamation of Reddit threads that happen to get through to SE's
dude.
inbox.
Mhm.
You know what the thing is? You know how before it was like the Flogs 100% was like, oh, they got like 8 balances. No. Now you take 2 Astro and you have permanent card on your head
Yeah.
that does like 8% forever.
Yeah. Which is why I think
It's
it's
like-
stupid.
What?
Excuse me?
It's not
Yeah.
gonna ever not be on your head because there's rerolls. There's like 3 reroll charges.
Yeah.
And there's like sleeve draw, so you're gonna, sleeve. Stupid.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
And
just
if
think
you
that
have 2 Astros, you just
I
have
personally
another
think the
Astro.
job is
It's like ridiculous.
like drawing cards in general, like anything to do with drawing or redrawing is just like it's just a
No,
bit
I
all
like
over
that.
the place
I
for me.
like that part. Yeah.
But it is what it is. Actually, I think I have one more.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one's a good fitting one to end on. My the moment that I'm gonna remember forever during my early access period is blank.
It's
You know what mine's gonna be?
what's yours?
Well, I technically want 2 on this one because one's funny and one's actually like legit.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna also use that.
Yeah,
as well.
my funny one was dying to a boulder.
Yeah.
Oh, what in the fucking maze?
Because I was lagging.
Died to the boulder.
It was
How the fuck
funny.
You died to that shit.
I was lagging.
can't
That was when the
move.
DDoS was happening.
Oh, that's your fault then.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then my moment that was like, yo, this is crazy, was the first time you go through past the second boss in Amaro. And you just see like the world below you and you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
alright, sure. Why not?
Okay.
So that's mine too.
It's a fucking tough one. There's so
Top
many good
one for me was Teslin's death.
Oh god.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, fucking. Okay, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, the world's gone to shit. Oh, it can't be that bad. And then I'm
Oh,
like,
whiz
I'll go to
bang.
autosave first and then see what happens. And then that happens, like, okay.
Okay, pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. This is pretty awful. We should probably save the world.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that was like my like oh shit moment.
Yeah.
Like a funny moment. No, you know what? This is a memorable thing just because like this had nothing to do with early access to a degree, like in game.
Mm-hmm.
But fucking knowing how much my fucking work hates me when I
Oh
requested
yeah.
time off.
You just remember that. Oh yeah, Shadowbringers. I got cucked.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then yeah, I was like, cool, I'm gonna stay up, fucking play this game, and then right before the podcast, I get a call or a fucking notification saying, hey, you gotta go to work tomorrow, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
I do have another side funny one, and it's because I made like this rice, this like fried rice, which had red cabbage in it, and the red cabbage when it was like fried and put in the rice kind of looked like one of those mobs in the in Ilmeg. There's like like that I just thought that was funny, but
What?
and I'm like, yo, I'm eating them.
Yeah.
But all right, Jason, what you got for me?
I'm trying to like my best moment, dude. I just,
Oh, most memorable. It doesn't have to be the best.
most memorable. Most memorable is. I mean, it's got to be seeing the city, right?
Yeah, sure.
The city, yeah, that's fair play.
And like number two, like, no, it's just everything. I don't know. It's just everything. In the city, even the dungeon in the city.
And my axe.
You know? Oh yeah, and my axe, right?
Wait, what?
Oh no, the Hades reveal.
The Hades
Oh
reveal.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
number
that's pretty
two.
good.
Hades reveal would be number two. Oh, and listening to the theme, just the theme, playing that whole fight, that whole sequence theme. I love the theme so much. The main
Okay,
theme.
sorry. I'm gonna steal one more.
Yep.
Wait,
Okay.
another oh
Just
shit
keep going,
moment.
dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Fucking realizing that Emmett Selk was the fucking gremlin in the trailer.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, what?
He said the gremlin quote, right?
Yeah,
Wait, he's the
Yeah.
gremlin?
yeah.
Because the gremlins, you know,
He's like, he
he's
says
not
the
actually
exact.
literally the gremlin, but he says the quote of the gremlin, right?
Yeah.
Wait, so
Yeah.
so when is he like?
When he's fucking like when you're like puking and shit, like the light.
Yeah.
When you're like on the bridge, like
He says the
No,
exact.
no,
like,
no.
over
But
the
I'm saying
world.
like when would he have like when we have seen that gremlin though?
Oh,
Well,
you
no,
don't
I'm
know.
saying from the
No, the
trailer.
gremlin doesn't exist.
Uh.
But the lines the gremlin says in the trailer is the lines that Emmett Selk says.
So I'm just like, oh my god, he was the gremlin.
Yeah, it's just like wait.
All right.
Hello?
He could have been in. That could have been Emmett Selk in the trailer
Yeah, I mean,
because
That's
Asian.
yeah, I mean they can do whatever they want, dude.
Yeah. Also, I mean, in the trailer, we beat Xenos as well,
Yeah.
even though we
Yeah.
didn't. But
I mean, we did. That
It's
was
just-
the
he cheated
3.5
afterwards.
or 4.5 stuff, right? We did ish.
no,
They
we
left.
got saved.
Right?
We got
didn't-
saved by a
didn't beat him.
Stinian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
We did, but we didn't. Like they fucked off, basically.
Before
we-
But in the
before-
trailer, he was like kneeling and he got fucked, right?
yeah, it was
Before
like
we
if we had
leave off-
won.
Yeah.
or do you want to leave this for the next podcast? What do you think we're gonna get story wise for 4.1? Because like the whole ending of
Oh
that.
god.
Did you watch? Tell me at least watch the cutscene after the end credits.
Oh, I did.
Oh
So
yeah.
you know what happened.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
back-
Guys is
back
dead
in-
as shit.
No, dude.
No, there's
He's
no
dead
way.
as
They're not
shit.
gonna kill guys. They're not gonna kill guys.
Except
Yeah,
Gaius is
no.
invincible, so he's not gonna die.
Yeah.
No, he's not gonna die.
It still boggles my
Um,
mind that Gaius' voice actor is fucking Bruce Bolton.
Yeah, Bruce Bolton.
Fucking gonna flame me.
When
or
you
something.
hear it, you're just like, wait,
It's him.
I know this voice.
It's not fucking Raiden anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that could be for a later
Yeah,
a
okay.
later one.
Yeah,
The
I
next
don't
one that we'll
know.
probably do is probably 2 weeks today, because that'll be the Saturday after the
Raid content.
yeah, after the Savages come out. So we've seen who probably have won the world first
Assuming
race.
we're not
You know.
bonus rating on that day.
Well, yeah.
How
Well, we
about-
could. Well, we could do it. We could potentially do it
You
earlier.
know?
Potentially
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
earlier. But
we'll figure it out.
yeah.
Bonus rating.
So yeah, we
Possible.
Why not Friday, dude? Come on.
I don't know. I
We'll
mean,
have
maybe
to-
that day too.
we'll have to schedule it because we'll be able to see if all the Savage fights and stuff like that.
Because remember, Kajal seemingly can't do Wednesdays anymore.
Oh yeah, you're right. Shit.
So we only have 2 days. So we need another day. I don't know where we're gonna find that day.
Say goodbye to your Fridays.
Yeah.
But on that note,
Shit.
let's go one by one here. So Thrifty, they can find you where?
I believe it's at Thrifty Shark on Twitter and Thrifty Shark on Twitch. Easy.
Thrifty underscore or Thrifty or all one
I
word.
think it's just. I'm pretty sure they're both just Thrifty. I think the Twitter is underscore. I never.
And the Twitch is all one word.
And the Twitch is all one word. Yes.
Okay.
Let me double. Yeah, it is.
All right. And Zendrick, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Shut-In Gaming on Twitch and a Shut-In Games on Twitter.
Showing Games on Twitter, and you can find me, Pilot Flame 226 or Pilot Flame anywhere on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, where this podcast will also go up as well. Thank you all for coming on. Appreciate it. It was a longer episode, but it was definitely a good one. And the Savage one will be probably in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So yeah, appreciate you all for coming on. Good show, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.
Yeah.